So welcome everyone to this workshop. We are going to get started now. So first of all, I'll walk you through what all topics are there that we are going to cover. Then we'll move towards the architecture. Then we will have a small break, and then we'll move towards coding. Okay, so that is how I have set up things. First half session, we'll discuss the basic concepts, basic architecture, if there are, right? Again, as I told, I won't be able to cover agents. You should know what are agents. MCP servers, I can tell in basics that how it works, right? No, I'm not going to cover in detail because this is a project workshop. And maybe in some concept workshop, I can tell it better. And we'll create an architecture for the project and we will move. So just to let you know, couple of people will be removed automatically. Please join back again. It's some issue with Google Meet link. So please join back again from the link. Okay. Okay, so I've shared my screen. Let me know once my screen is visible. Yeah, please. Also during the session, please, I will suggest if you guys have to ask, please ask directly. You can put in chat box as well, but it will be good if you can ask questions directly to me. Okay. So first of all, let's discuss what all topics we will need for this project that we are going to build. The first of all that you need to know that how does an agent work? Okay, this is the first thing. Okay, so agent works on the concept of tools and prompts. Okay, this is how an agent works. Apart from this, you need to know a little bit what is an MCP server. Okay, this you need to know, and you need to understand what is the meaning of orchestration. Okay, I think you need only these three things for this particular session. So before I move ahead, I just want to know from you guys, and you can let me know in in text or by saying how many of you know what is and how does an agent work, and what are tools. Anyone who does not know, can you let me know, please? Anyone who does not know what is tools, what is agent, how does an agent work? Okay. Okay. See, as I told, that it was a prerequisite to know how does an agent work, because I'm not going to cover in detail. Still, I will tell some basics. I'll not spend much time on that, but I'll just tell some basics about agents, right? How many of you know about MCP? Like what is an MCP server? Right? Forget it how it works. How many of you have heard of MCP server, and like what is its objective? Anyone who does not know or who all know about this, can you please tell me? Okay. Yeah, please.
Okay. Oh, sorry, it was my mistake.
And how many of you know about orchestration? So orchestration is just an English word, right? Orchestration, can someone tell me the meaning of orchestration?
Binding the task together. It's a workflow.
Yeah, orchestration basically means something. It's kind of a manager, basically, who manages
like an
things.
orchestra in a music concert, kind of.
Right. Sorry?
An orchestra in music concert that kind of guides and manages.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is, yeah, kind of that. Okay. So let's first of all, I'm just first 10-15 minutes, I'm just going to walk through how does an agent work, what are tools. I'll simply give a quick walkthrough of what does an MCP server looks like, and how do you run it. Okay. So let me just put it. apart, like if you still don't understand, I have a video on YouTube where I've explained what are agents, how do they work. It's a like 4-hour video. You can watch that to have an understanding. Okay, so basically, how does an agent work? So for example, I'll give you a very simple example that suppose um, an AI agent basically is just an entity to which if you give any task, it will complete that and give to you. I mean, in short, if I tell you a very simple definition, it's this only. But how does it work, right? That is something you need to understand the core concept, because as I tell, it's not magic, right? You need to engineer something in the backend so that it can work. So how does it work is in an AI agent, there is a thing called LLM, right? And tell me what is the advantage of an LLM? Can someone tell me?
Generating the text.
It's act as a brain.
It acts as a brain, right? Just like in humans, what do we have? We have a brain, we have human body parts, right? So suppose you are walking somewhere, let's say you're walking down a street and a car is coming in front of you. What will you do? You will basically, I mean, just for example, there's a car in front of you. You will move your legs and disappear from there. Maybe you'll go left side or right side, right? So if you try to notice this, your eyes see this particular activity that a car is coming. It sends the message to brain, and brain has the logic that, okay, if brain sees that something is coming, it might hurt me. So brain sends a signal to your legs that, okay, a car is coming, you should move from here. And your legs, which acts as an agent, basically they move from there, right? So this is how software systems also work. If you try to simulate this with a software system, in a software system, you write different codes, a Python code, Java code, different codes for different scenarios, right? Now, so far, if you create a software, you as a human create the logic that, okay, this is how the workflow should look like. First, this code should run, next that code. For example, let's say you have 3 codes. You have a Python code, okay? And then you have, for example, let's say you have a Java code, okay? And let's say then you have a, pick anything. Let's say there's another code in language Go, okay? So these are the 3 languages in which you have 3 codes in a software system. Now, you don't know, there is one method. One method is to tell that, okay, run the Python code first, then Java code first, then Go code first. This is called a workflow. In workflow, what do? You tell a systematic order that, okay, first you run this, then you run this, then you run this. That is called workflow. And in an agent system, LLM decides which particular thing to run. Okay, so LLM will process the user input. It will have these 3 things which are called as tools. Okay, so tools are basically what all things it has to execute or answer the user question. So based on these tools, it will decide which tool to run, which order it will automatically form depending upon the question that is coming. And that is why this is called agent, because in agent, it is possible that it runs Java code first, then it runs Golang code first, then it runs Python code. But in a workflow, you only run in a systematic order. So that is the advantage of agents, that you just give it that, okay, I have these things. Now you decide the order, you execute things, you just do the work for me. Okay, how does that happen? I will show you in the session, but this is the basic understanding of an agent, that you give an LLM, you give it different things which are called as tools. So these things which you provide here to an LLM are called as tools. Okay, so this is the basics of it. Again, I haven't covered in much detail, but I have videos on YouTube where you can refer what is an agent, how does it work, and all those things you can refer from here. Okay, so so what do we understand as of now? An agent is an entity to which you provide tools. It runs tools based on the prompts, based on the tool description, and it automatically decides the order of execution. Okay, now comes the next thing, which is called an MCP server. Okay, so MCP. Okay, so MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Okay, now Model Context Protocol. Okay, so in very simple words, I'm not going to give you complicated definition. Very simple definition is that MCP is nothing. It is just a way to provide these tools to LLM. Okay. Generally what happens, let me show you a very simple, I would say a very simple example that what do you do? Sorry. Okay, so what do you do in generally, let's say this is my Python code. I will, if I have to create an agent, I write down a code. So what do? Let's say I will create one file for tool1.py. I'll create one file for tool2.py. Okay, I'll create one file for tool3.py. Okay, and then I'll create a file agent.py. Okay, so what will happen in each tool? You will write down some code here. Here also you will write down some code. Here also you will write down some code. And in agent you will say you'll combine all those tools. You'll say tools is equal to tool1, tool2, and tool. Okay, this is how you basically operate. And after that you create a code for agent which basically runs this. So you basically create an agent and you do agent.run, and it will automatically run these tools depending upon that. Now tell me this, when you do a setup like this, now let's try to interact. Okay, where does this tool run right now? What do you think? These tools are, so what I mean by that, is it running on my computer? Is it running somewhere else? Or it is doing some allocating some different memory somewhere else? Where are these tools running right now? Can you tell me?
It's on your computer because you're making code.
Server.
Right now I have not created any server.
In your local
on your computer.
So right now what will happen, this tool file, when this code will run, which computer is it using? Memory it is using?
Local computer?
It is running on my local computer, correct?
Yeah.
So all the tools that you, so agent is also running on my computer. These tools are also running on my computer. Agreed? Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes.
Yes.
What is the problem? What is the problem with this? What can be a
After
possible?
sometime you will run out of the memory.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah, you need lot of memory storage for that, and you need lot of tools access. Let us say
Your voice is not clear. Your voice is not clear. Can you please?
So you need to add a new tool, like you need to keep on adding into this local computer, and you need to run. Instead of
So
that,
what will happen? Let's say this is my computer. Okay. So I have an agent file here. Okay. Let's say I have this particular file agent. Then I have a file tool1. Okay. Tool1 and tool2. Okay. Yeah, I'm coming to that. So let's say this is tool3. Okay. Now, two problems are there. First of all, so this is my computer. Let's say my computer has a RAM of 16 GB right now. Okay. Now, as I keep on adding to, let's say this tool calling is not a simple code. It's a very complicated function which is making some API calls, web scraping, and a lot of additional things it is doing. This tool2 is also doing that. All these are heavy tools. Basically, they take a lot of memory. Now, as I keep on adding tools, what will happen?
I need a lot of API.
Sorry?
Require a lot of API. A lot of API.
Not lot of API, it requires a lot of memory.
Yep.
It is using my CPU basically, let's say, which is, for example, let's say 16 GB. Right now. This code that you're running, it is taking 16 GB of memory, it is running. Now think like this. what happens that multiple people will start using my application. Let's say this is a user 1, user 2, user 3, like the multiple people start using my application. What will happen?
We will run out of the memory.
You will run out of the memory, right? So there are two problems. First of all, if in the current setup, if you keep on increasing tools, suppose your agent needs 100 tools, what will happen? Your laptop alone cannot take all the load. It's not only about laptop. Even if you host this on a cloud server, it will require a lot of memory from that particular server where it is hosted. Okay, this is called. And second problem, a lot of users are there. As number of users, suppose your website is handling 1 million users, right? It cannot handle such a load on any one computer, any one server. Agreed or not? Anyone, any confusion in this part? Okay, so this problem is called tight coupling. Okay, this problem is called, and this is a very, very common problem which you will get in interviews. People will definitely bombard you with this question: how will you handle tight coupling in a GenAI application? There are multiple ways to do that. I'm not going there right now, but tight coupling. So what does a tight coupling mean? That you put everything in at one single place, right? So you would have also heard this particular thing called as SPOF. How many of you have heard this? SPOF. Have you heard of this?
No.
SPOF stands for single point of failure. Okay, single point of failure. What does this mean? Can someone tell me?
When the system fails, entire everything is going to fail. Yeah.
So everything, all tools, everything is present in one system. If my computer goes on or one server goes down, everything will crash, right? And let's say you have a lot of users, you have taken subscription fees from them, and they will have a hard time. Like today, everyone is so impatient. Like even for 1 second, ChatGPT goes down, we go just mad, right? Imagine if how they will be handling all these things in the backend, right? So that is where model context protocol comes in. Okay, it is a problem to decouple. So the solution to tight coupling is called decouple. You want to keep your things separate. So what do you do now? That you create. So this becomes your agent. Okay, where so your agent will run on one server. Okay, this is where your agent will run. For example, let's say this is my computer. Okay, so this is for example, let's call it, this is my agent. What I will do, all these tools which I am showing you, they will go on a different server. Okay, and that is called an MCP server. So this is an MCP server. Basically, it's nothing but it's a collection of tools. Although it has many things: tools, resources, prompts. I'm not going there right now. What will happen? You will host all this on a separate server. Okay. So now, every time a user questions anything from this particular agent, let's say a user comes and questions anything from this agent, what is going to happen? Let's say as a user, I send question to agent that, okay, do this task for me. How is agent going to handle that?
The agent is going to call MCP server.
Yes. Okay. So you will hear the word client and all that. I'm not going there right now. Client, host. We don't need to know all that right now. So earlier what was happening on same machine, all the tools were running. Now what is happening?
We distributed the load.
We distributed the load from a single computer to different servers. Now what you can do, create multiple servers, right? You can create one server. Let's say you have 550 tools. You can create 10 server with 55 tools, right? So what you can do, you can call, okay, let's say this is my MCP server 1, MCP 1. Okay, this is my MCP 2.
So here MCP server, it will provide the resources to the agent, is it right?
Yes, yes. So whatever tool running was happening, right? Tool execution, it will happen on the MCP server side. Okay. So let's say there are different, let's say there are 4 MCP servers, or let's say I create 5 MCP servers for now. Okay. And each MCP server will have what?
Set of tools.
It will have its own tools, right? So this is, for example, this is an agent, this is an MCP server, and each MCP server will be binded to its own tools. So whenever a request comes from a user, the agent will route it to the correct MCP server. The MCP server will, in the backend, what it will do, it will connect with the right tool. So how it works in the backend, that let's say this is tool 1, okay, and this is tool 2. So what will happen? Remember, MCP server is not an agent. MCP server is just a server, okay, which is exposing your tools there. So user's question will come, okay. Let me just reduce it. So user question will come from here to the agent. Agent will select, okay, I have these many MCP servers. Which MCP server should I call? How will it call the MCP server? Tell me. Which one it will decide which one to call.
Maybe we'll
Based on
give
the
you a
description.
prompt.
Yeah, you will have to give the description for each server, that this server does this. Okay. So accordingly, it will call the server, and each server will call the tools. So each server will execute the tools on a different system, get the output of the tool, and pass to the agent. So now your agent is only running one LLM call, which is not a very complex thing. There are more ways to scale it up, but this much is enough for this session. That's how the flow is going to work for an MCP server. Please, if you have any question now, ask me.
So, sir, so I have a doubt. So you said like if there is a lot of tools and a lot of users are using, there might be a chance of memory crash, right?
Yes.
So what if like there is 10 tools in the MCP server and like 2 million users are hitting them? Like, what, is there any chance of failure, or like
Yeah. So
how will you handle it?
So that is handled through, you need to understand the concept of load balancing. Okay. That is not in the scope of this session, but I'll create an architecture and show you.
Will async work for that?
Async, of course, async you will have to do automatically, right? Async will work here, but only async will not help. Load balancing is also required. If you have a million users, async.
Right. So this will be like kind of microservice hosted, and there will be some queue, and based on queue, we will scale up the load. Okay,
something like that. Cool. Something like that will happen. You create a microservices, and it will have queue and all that. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
it's like uploading tools to cloud. And how does AI apps work? Before MCP, you used to provide everything in a single. As I told, before MCP were there, everything used to run as a single entity like this tight coupling thing that I showed you. You will deploy your agent on cloud, and on the cloud, everything will be present on a single system. The difference that is now is that we are decoupling things. We are moving from everything on one system to multiple systems. Is it clear?
Satvik, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
So here agent is a combination of some tools, right? So we have 3 tools, maybe like executing Python code, Java code, and Go code. So we have a different MCP servers, right? Like how while choosing like which MCP server, like what is the criteria? Like is whatever the MCP server available freely, that will choose for the execution, or is there any?
Each MCP server will have a description. Okay. LLM will know that, okay, this
MCP one only for executing Python code, MCP3 only for executing Java code. Is it like that?
It is like that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So you can distribute those things as per your need, right? You can put all those 3 tools in one MCP server. So you don't always need a lot of servers. In one server also, you can just put 3 tools: one Python tool, one Go tool, one Java tool. It's totally on you how you want to configure it. Either you can create 3 different MCP servers, or you can create one MCP server with 3 tools.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
So in agent, we have a different tools. To execute each tool, we need one MCP server, or else like we can execute all the three tools in a one MCP server.
yes,
Like, depends on the resources.
depends. No, think like this, right? Now tell me, my question to you all is, what is better, running one MCP tool on different servers or three MCP tools on one server? What do you think?
3 on 1.
Different three MCP servers, three tools. That is better.
Different tools on different MCP server, otherwise it will crash.
Why? What do you think? What can be the reason for that?
Well, because like the cost of the server will cost me.
Exactly. It's not, when I'm telling you, when you decide this logic, right, it's not only governed by engineering. It depends upon your costing as well. Running three different servers involve extra cost, right? First of all, you will have to host on cloud, pay extra for spaces and all those things. Now, point is, managing three servers also is not an easy task. It might look easy to you right now, but it's not an easy, because if something goes down, then whole system will basically might collapse, right? So my experience says that how does it works in company, that each team creates its own MCP server. For example, let us say GitHub has given me one MCP server. It has only one MCP server which contains all the tools, right? So mostly go with one MCP server with multiple tools, okay? Unless you have very extreme use case that, okay, no, this MCP server is not controlled by me. So for example, let us say you are working in a team, okay, here. So let's say you're working, this is your company. Now in your company, what happens? You have different departments. Let us say there's a sales department, okay? There is a tax department, okay? Now then there is, for example, let's call it engineering department, okay? Marketing department, for example. Now in this scenario, it makes sense that each department will create its own MCP server, okay? And it can pass to others that, okay, you guys can use my MCP server to get to know things, right? Getting my point? But it does not make sense to create one MCP server and host all the tools of the company inside that, okay? So it totally depends upon your use case. Generally try to create different MCP server based on what is the resource. Are you controlling that MCP server? If you are controlling that MCP server, then yeah, put everything in that tool. But if you don't have control on it, if that MCP server is coming from different team, then you need to use that directly. So that is how it goes. Does it make sense? See, Docker and Kubernetes are different. Basically, it is there also you will need to run the tools, right? We will still use Docker and Kubernetes, but think like that. Earlier, what was happening? Everything was running on one. First of all, MCP has two things. First of all, it has to provide tools. Okay, so it has, Docker will also run on a single machine only, right? It will not put. So how does Docker or Kubernetes work? That it takes a system, it balances the load here and there, right? Here, every tool is running on that particular system only. It's not like 500, like only 500 different codes which Docker or Kubernetes can distribute across different servers. Okay, so these are single. Think like this as a single coding file right now. Now what you're doing, you're distributing your coding file into 5 setups. You will still need Docker and Kubernetes. So what you do, you create an MCP server, put it into Docker, and you basically put into Kubernetes for scaling, right? That's how you still do. Do you get my point? Or it's not clear? Okay. Anyone? Any other question? Please let me know.
Yes, I have a doubt. So, so is MCP server like just any other server, or are there specific?
It's like a regular API that you create. That regular API that you create. It's just that its name is so. It uses fast API. Right. So it's built on fast API library. So we call it a fast MCP. So it's just like any server, I would say. There's no difference in MCP server or think like this. You create APIs, right? In through fast API, multiple like put, get, and all those things. It's like that only.
Okay, but something that must be there that sets it apart. Like, is there something integrated with those, like the MCP host or something like that?
There
That
are, again, I'm not talking those things right now because it's beyond the scope of this session. There is a reason why MCP, there's difference, like how MCP is different from regular servers. What those things are there, but they're not in the scope of this session. So you need to understand the transport protocol. How does communication happen between client server? I'll still try to show you if I have. You will see client concepts. So MCP generally has this particular thing, client server, okay, and in that, so let me just walk you through this particular thing. What happens in an MCP server? This diagram. So this is an LLM. This is a user. This is a client. Client means your AI application, and server is basically your server is basically your MCP server. Okay. Now for this, I need to explain transport protocol as well. Leave it right now. I mean, it will get confusing if I explain it. Just wait a second. Yeah, try to see this. User, this one or something else. Not even this one. Just a second. Server concepts. Okay, yeah, this diagram I wanted to show you. So the client here is an AI application. Okay, so for example, your agent is your client right now, and server is your server basically. Okay, so how does it work? Not every API can communicate with this LLM client, first of all. So how MCP server differentiates, which you asked me, is that not every API can talk to LLM the way MCP server. That is why this term called as protocol. Protocol is a communication protocol.
That was my question actually, that it's a specific way of calling design. That's why it's called.
Yes. Okay, so it works on the concept of JSON RPC too, which I will show you. So what happens that, let's say user sends, client will, first of all, when you set agent with an MCP server, what will happen? First of all, client will send a connection request to server to check if it is working. So if you see, this is initialize request. So your agent will send a request to the server to check if agent is working right now. Okay. So now agent will tell, yes, I am working right now, I am live. This is the first setup that happens with MCP server and client. Okay. And it says that, okay, I have received a notification. Now I will start sending user request. So this is called the initialization phase, I would say. Is it clear, everyone? This is the first step. So whenever you will write down your code, it takes a while to set up. So what happens that first your client will send a request to server, it will send a communication back, and it will send back, right? And these things happen through a protocol, which is called a JSON RPC2, right? So which is again not in the scope of this session. It talks in the language of JSON packages, right? So this is now once this thing is done, now user question will come. It will send to that. It will send that okay, I have these tools, and it will reply. So this is, if you see, this is a JSON request that goes. What happens that JSON RPC, it will say initialize, okay, and all this version and all those things it will tell, and this is how basically you will get respond from server that okay, true, everything is true, basically set up. Okay, so if you see, first server will send, client will send this particular JSON, and server will send this, okay, I am connected now. Then your client will send, okay, notification initialized, everything is done, we can now move forward. Okay, after that you will have a lot of things. There are three transport protocol. One is STDIO, one is SSE, and one is your streamable HTTP. So SSE means reading local files. Let's not go all there, it's very like it will keep on going. If you see, you'll see STDIO or HTTP. So we are going to use HTTP because we have to host server on cloud, right? So we are going to use HTTP protocol for this session. So this is all you need to know right now for MCP server. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, actually, this was very helpful. I actually thought that MCP majorly is this protocol that the JSON you said you just showed. So I thought that that is the main protocol that is called MCP. So but it's not the same thing. You're saying that it's a part of it.
That JSON. There are multiple reasons an MCP server was created. This protocol that you are seeing, it was earlier as well. Like earlier tool calling also, if you have seen, it used to work like similarly like this. What they have done is, of course, they have added a standard communication. They have improved this. Then they have added the decoupling thing so that agent can interact and work parallelly with it. Okay, and agent can wait. I'm not sure if you guys know about asynchronous programming. Earlier, those await options were not there properly. So they have added those await options that agent can send a request to a server, wait for it, and now it can read it, like those things. So they have added this protocol. So model context protocol. Protocol means this particular language. Model context means providing the tools to that particular agent. Okay, so these are the two things which an MCP server mainly does. It does decoupling. And so if someone asks you that in interview that, okay, why do I need an MCP server? Why not regular tools? What will you answer in there? And this is a very common question people ask in interviews.
Because I think it has standardized the way we are dealing with every kind of tool. So there can be different tools, and there could be, so beforehand I think there were different ways to do the same thing, but now we can standardize it for every tool.
Yeah, the code remains same. What happened, for example, let's say you have to integrate a tool for every framework. Let's say LangChain has a different framework to create tools. LangGraph has a different, 𝗖𝗄𝗴 has a different. Every agent framework has a different method to create tools or bind tools to LLM. Now everything is standard. You just need to know one syntax, simply create, put tools into that and connect to the agent. So it basically standardizes how you write down your tools. It eases the whole process of creating tools. Make sense? Anyone, any further doubt before I move? I'll show you creation of one MCP server, and then we'll move towards the project. Okay, so this much. So all in it, again, I am not expecting you. See, I will conduct a proper session on MCP server. You can join that time. Okay, I don't have any video right now, but I will conduct a proper session on MCP as well. Right now, I have not explained in detail. I have run very quickly because objective is not MCP. Objective is to understand agent. Okay, right now, just understand this, that MCP is a server, is a way to provide tools to LLM. That's all. Okay, you don't need to know more than this for now. Okay, I'll conduct a workshop as well, and I'll provide you some material as well so that you can go. Okay, MCP requires a lot of time. It cannot be taught in one session. All these transport protocols, right? I didn't go into there because if I start teaching all this, it will take a lot of time. Okay, you need to understand how does two software system connect with each other, then how each things come. So forget all that for now. Okay, we'll simply move towards creating an MCP server, and we'll try to connect it with an agent. Okay, so to do that, what you can do is simply, let's go towards this MCP Python SDK. Okay, and remember, if you have to ever understand the code, create code, simply go to official GitHub repositories. They have a lot of examples, not only for MCP, for anything that you see. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one MCP server. Let's see. Okay, let's simply go to this LangGraph. Sorry. Okay, so this is, yeah, this is a very simple code how to create an MCP server. Okay, so let me show you what is happening here. So if you see, first of all, I need to do Okay, so this is a very simple code of MCP server. If you see this, how to write down this code, you will say from mcp.server.fastMCP import fastMCP. Okay, so this is a very simple import that you need to do. Okay, from mcp.server import fastMCP. Then you create your MCP. So this is a class fastMCP. Then you create an object of this class and you call it a weather MCP. Okay. And how to create a tool in MCP, it's very simple. Simply use this decorator and write down the function, whatever. If you remember how we used to create tools in regular other ways, you used to call a decorator at tool and you used to create a function, right? And that function becomes tool. Similarly, in MCP as well, just call at MCP this particular dot tool and write down your function. The moment you write it, this and you need to mention streamable HTTP, mcp.run streamable HTTP. Once you run this particular code, so if you see my MCP server is running on this particular server, on my local server, it is running on 800. Okay, so what you can do is there is a thing called MCP inspector. So npx at MCP inspector. It is so this is an MCP inspector. It will basically show me whether my MCP server is live. I can test it. Okay. So if you see, this is how an MCP inspector looks like. So what it is used for? It is used for checking whether your server is live or not. So here you can select whichever option. So I'm going to select streamable HTTP and URL of your server. So if you see, my server was running on which server? Let's go there. It was running on 8000. Okay, so I'll simply copy this and I will go here. I'll paste it here and I'll put a /MCP. Okay, so and I click on connect. So when a green comes, means it is connected to my server. Clear? Any doubt, anyone? Now here MCP provides a lot of things, prompt, tools, ping, right? Right now we are only concerned about tools. So here if you click on tools and you can click on list tools. So right now you have one tool, get weather. So if you click on it and suppose I put a location, let us say Mumbai, okay, and it will give me the response that okay, it is always sunny in New York. Okay, so how did it work? Here in your main code, if you see, I created this get weather function and it was replying. Okay, let me add one more tool. So what I will do, I will come here, I will add another tool. I will say MCP tool, say for example greet, and you will say name MCP tool to greet someone. Okay, and you will say hi, how are you doing? Okay, so I will close this server, I will rerun this. Okay, So if you see now, my MCP tools should show how many tools?
Two.
One tool is grid, one tool is get weather. Okay, so let me run it. Okay. Source dot source. Okay, so let me run this. So now server is live. Let's go to the server inspector once again. I will reload it. Okay, I'll connect to this server again. It will show connected. If I go to list tools, I have two tools now, get weather and greet. Correct? If I click on greet, remember the input is same that you mentioned in the function. It is just like a function. In function, I gave an input that, okay, take an input name. So it will, that is something you need to provide in the inspector. Okay. So here, what will you do? You'll provide, for example, let's say Adam. So, and it tells you, so all you need to do now, simply run the tool and it will reply. Okay, I think I didn't pass the variable name properly. Hi, how are you doing? Okay. So
you didn't pass the string.
Yeah, I didn't mention the exception, sorry. So, but you got it, right? How does MCP server, how you create an MCP server? And so in future, if you have to create more tools, what will you do? You will keep on adding at MCP tool and a function like this, and you will just run the server.
Yeah, sorry to disturb. Can you go this MCP inspector tool? How do you make that one? So it will be available in MCP inspector. It will be available in document.
It will be available in
document, or from where we have to get this specific PR?
No, you simply need to run this command npx add this.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Weather is a prompt or argument parameter inside which weather? Get weather, right? Get weather is the name of the tool which I created here. If you try to see the get weather is the name of the tool. This tool takes which input?
String.
Location. So location is something you will need to provide. It's just like a Python function, and it will give you the response. This is the tool description, and this is what tool is returning. Got my point?
Satvik, I have a question here.
Yeah, please.
So if I create a different object, MCP1 is equal to fast MCP, that means I'm creating a different MCP server?
Yeah, you can get a different MCP server.
Got it.
Yeah, small time. Like here you whatever you did was
your voice is not clear. Your voice is not clear. Your voice is not clear. Can you please speak again?
Yeah, I think now it's okay.
Sorry?
Is it okay now, or?
Yeah, you try to speak.
Okay. Yeah, can you do some?
See, can you put in chat? I'm not able to hear. Your voice is breaking. I'm really sorry. Please put in chat. Okay.
So, like, I have a doubt. So, can we directly use this, expose this endpoint to the server? Like, when we are posting production, or should we mount this fast MCP to fast API?
This is on my local, right?
Yeah.
So for
like,
production,
when we are pushing,
yeah.
Or should we mount this to fast API? No, right?
No. So what you will need to do, you simply need to put it in a Docker file. Docker will automatically create a port for you in the container, and you can use that as your input.
And few coding, like in few codes, I have seen like they're mounting this with the fast API thing.
Yeah, you can do all that. Mounting with fast API, creating Docker or some other web service, all that can be done. This is a production ready. Right now, it's on my local, but you can change this URL.
Right.
So like you can deploy this on Azure Kubernetes, like Azure Docker services, right? Or Azure portal. I recently did, I think last week only, I deployed a whole MCP server on Azure portal. Azure has this Docker services, right? So
Right.
it becomes a standard deployment. And even if you go to Docker nowadays, Docker has a full implementation with MCP Server. They have added a lot of functionalities now with MCP Server. Where is it?
Yeah, right now, like there are many servers ready-made available, right? In market.
Yeah. So there is a any MCP. Okay.
Symmetry.ai, any C3.
So there are like lot of MCP servers available. You can directly. The problem with MCP server using those servers is that you don't know about security. That whether those tools which they have provided, right, are so now, what I've seen in companies don't prefer to use MCP servers from outside. Reason is same only because you don't know whatever tool someone has created in the backend. How good is it? Will it have some malicious code? Can it hamper your security? Those type of things.
Data privacy things.
Right, data privacy can be there. So that's why companies prefer using creating their own MCP server.
Self-hosted.
Yes. So if you see this in this MCP, what I told, there's a thing called
Authorization, right?
Authorization, right? This is using OAuth 2. We do all that, create tokens and all those things, right? So these things, when you're deploying something in the company, you need to go up to this level. Otherwise, companies don't exist, right? Whatever I'm going to right now is a very basic thing, but this, as I told, this MCP alone is a different course, I would say, right? It needs a lot of understand, but I'm just showing you how it's created. Okay.
Sure.
Can you use Databricks? I need to check. I haven't used it. I'll check it right now. How can we take MCP? How? So see, MCP can be created on multiple programming language. So MCP Anthropic, if you go to the documentation, right, it can be done. There are multiple programming language which it supports. MCP documentation. It provides. Let me. It's not only on Python. There is Java.NET TypeScript, Java.NET TypeScript Python. I think right now you can create MCP servers on these languages. See, this particular part is not part of this session. I will tell you in some other session. Okay, I have to move to this project as well. Grok LLM in this code to get some specific locations. Whether see, I am going to create an MCP server for our project only. There only we will see all this. Okay. Okay. So now I just showed you how an MCP server is created. Now what I'm going to show you how to create an agent which can use these MCP servers. So I'm showing a very simple implementation to you right now, and then we will move towards our project. Okay. So for example, let's come here. So this is the code to create an agent which uses this MCP server. So how does it work? Let me show you. Okay, I need to add UV add LangGraph and then lang chain underscore MCP adapters. Okay, so how I'm showing you a very simple format, and this same format I'm going to use in the main code. So if you see, LangGraph provides a multi-server client which you use to connect to your MCP server. So there are different methods. I'm using a streamable HTTP, so I will remove this one. Okay. So what you say, you say client is equal to multi-server client, which you import from this MCP adapters. You provide the URL. So right now my MCP server is hosted where? 8000, correct? If I come here, let's say 8000 MCP, and you provide this particular transport. So this is all you need to do. And then you need to write down a tools await client.get tools. So it will automatically load the tools from your whatever model you are using. then you need to provide this particular thing, whatever model you are using, LLM. So you need to provide the model name and simply need to ask the question. So let me show you how it is going to work. Let us say I ask let's say this is OpenAI, and let's call it GPT-4. Okay. So what will I do? I will go to, let me get an OpenAI key. Okay, so let's come to agent. I also need to do UV add. Okay, so this is my code. I will say from dot, change this to okay .in import load.in. Okay, so this is this model. I added a particular model here. Okay, so like for example, you can give, or you can simply import something like this. Let's say add UV add LangChain OpenAI. Okay, so what you can do, you can simply say from LangChain OpenAI import chat OpenAI. I don't know why it's not coming up, but okay, it's fine. So this is my React agent OpenAI model GPT-4, and I will invoke it. Forget about the math response right now. Simply take the weather response. I will say what is the weather in 𝗍𝗏𝗏. Okay, and now I will try to execute it. Because again, it should reply here. Wait outside the function. I think some library is not imported properly.
Import async.io.
I did it. Import. Sorry, UV add. I haven't added. Oh. I did it. Wait outside the function. No, it's something wrong with my code only. Just a second. UV and async. Await outside function.
Yeah. Oh, it only work inside async function.
Sorry?
Yeah. I think we need to wrap it with
Yeah. In the async function, I will work.
No, I didn't get your point.
We need to create a function with async, and inside that is async function, we need to call await. Await will work inside the
Yeah, this is sorry, I just copied code from here. My bad. Yeah, you need to use this. That comes okay. That we will come to when I create code for you guys. Okay. Yeah, you cannot call it directly. You need to create a async function, then only await will work. Makes sense.
Right.
So we will come to that right now. So this is how a very simple. So architecture of the code will like that. You will make a connection to the MCP server, call it here, use the tools, bind basically, and you will call your agent, and that will work. And we are going to see how it is going to work. Now let's move to the architecture of the project. Okay, all good, everyone? Any doubt?
Yes, sir. So I have a doubt. So here we are hard coding the URL, right? So, but in ideal case, it should fetch from the.
Yeah, you can of course fetch it. You can put environment variable, right? Pass it, and you can get it from Azure Key Vault and all those things.
No. Like here, it's like a hard coding URL, right? So, but as per the thing, so it should it should dynamically fetch like which server it should go and which tool
See,
it
first
should
of
fetch.
all, it is running on
Use the general.
your actual MCP server will be hosted on a single. When you deploy MCP server in production, they go to a single URL only, right? So that URL you put here.
What if there are multiple servers? Like in that case, how will
You can
manage?
pass a variable here which dynamically takes, right? That is not a big deal, right? You can use a dynamic variable here, load the URL variables from your Azure vaults, and you can keep on updating it. Okay, so that is not a complicated thing. Main thing is that whatever URL you are going to use, you have to pass here. Okay,
right.
So let's go towards understanding what project we are going to create, and then we will have a break. And please focus on this part very much, what I'm going to explain, because I'm going to show you how does a project look like in enterprise level. This particular, of course, I'm not going to cover everything, but a lot of things I'm going to cover. So please watch all this, at least understand the architecture of the project. Okay, even if you cannot understand coding, that is fine. So let's go towards the project architecture. So what we are going to build today is a very interesting and a very enterprise. This is a part of project inside my company only. So that's why I brought this particular project. It's not a, so it's a change detection system. Okay? Change detection system. Now, in companies, you have different data pipelines, different report systems, different job scripts you run. What is the ultimate purpose of them? In companies, you trigger a lot of data pipelines and all those things, right? So what is the ultimate purpose of all that?
So that code
Data
doesn't
management.
falls in production.
Two? Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Try to speak. No problem.
That should not fail in production, so we apply different pipelines.
So basically, what you do in companies, you create a lot of data engineering pipelines, lot of reports, job scripts you run every day, which do different work. Okay. The use case that I'm going to speak about right now is a very, so if you know, in companies, where does the HR, for example, all the HR systems, they go to a particular system. Do you know what is that system called? HR information.
HRMS.
Sorry?
HRMS.
Workday.
HRMS.
What did you say? Can you repeat, please?
Human Resource Management System.
Yeah, it's called CRM. It's Workday only, but there are different ways to handle CRM data. Okay. There's a thing called CRM data. I hope everyone knows about it. Even if you don't know, just think like that, where HR updates your information. CRM data. Okay.
It can be different softwares, no, like Workdays, ADF,
Yeah,
like different.
Workday is very common.
HR.
Yeah, so there are, if you simply go to ChatGPT, let's ask that only what are
CRM is for customer resource management. I think ERP.
ERP is there, enterprise resource. So let's see. So Salesforce is there, you would have heard, right? Salesforce is very common. HubSpot is very common. Microsoft Dynamics 365, this is very common. Okay. So you would have heard, right? Integrates well with Microsoft tools, widely used. Then there is ERP. ERP system. What is ERP system?
Accounting softwares mostly.
Yeah, so accounting softwares are there, right? Like SAP, you use SAP, you would have heard about SAP Dynamics. So of all this, Dynamics 365 is something which is used mostly, like a lot these days, and it is gaining popularity. But there are a lot of databases. You don't need to know all this. I'm just telling. Okay, this is one end of things, where, for example, companies track and all that. All this data, if you notice, it is available to different departments of the company. Everyone does not go to for example, a Salesforce and fetches data. Right or wrong?
Yes, the data engineers will do like
Right?
to accommodate all the data into
Data
one place.
engineers get the data from CRM or maybe any other system which is there in the company. Okay, so you can think of CRM as one source. You can think of ERP system as something. Okay, so and plus any this is where your raw data is coming from. Basically, you can think. So let's call this a source data. For example, Dynamics. You can call it Dynamics 365. Let's assume for now. Okay, Dynamics 365. What is happening that now behind this data could be a streaming data, right? It could be a streaming data. It could be a, for example, a bulk data, batch processing, anything. It could be there. It could be a streaming data. It could be a batch processing. A lot of things can be there. Okay. And suppose this, and let's say you are working on in your analytics department, for example. So let us say this is analytics department which needs data in a very simple form which it can read. Okay. So think of this like this is your analytics department where you are working and you have to get these. So what do data engineers do? Data engineers create different pipelines. You would have heard about Azure pipeline, Kafka pipelines, and data. I mean, there are a lot of data migration projects are there inside companies where they have to read from one source and put it in the other source, right? All those things happen. So now there are a lot of use cases of this, like whole data engineering does this only, that it takes the data from one end, makes sure data is correct, validates it, and then push it to the other systems, right? This is the objective of data engineering that most engineers do. Agreed? Yes or not? Any doubt?
Yes, can you zoom in bit? Priyanka is asking in the chat.
Is it not visible?
For me, it's visible, but I think she's asking. So,
if I zoom in, I will not be able to show in one screen. Tell me, guys, is it not visible or what?
It's visible.
Anyone who cannot see? If I zoom in more, I will not be able to show things in one screen. So maybe you have to zoom in a little bit in your device that you're watching. Okay, so now point is, so again, you create a lot of Azure data pipeline, this data pipeline, a lot of things, Databricks, multiple tools you use to create data pipelines. In this project, what we have to do, we have to read. So what happens that customers, some data gets updated here. And that data pipeline runs, someone will come every morning and he will create it, or maybe the way he has set up the automation, it will fetch it and put it into analytics department, right? We want to handle all this through agents, not anyone running a script, not any manual script or anything. Simply, we want to create two agents. So what do we want to create eventually? Let's understand the project. That we will have an agent which will basically agent one, which will track the source. Okay, so source is what, your ERP system or whatever. And you will have an agent two, which will basically put things into your destination. Okay, so what is going to happen? Whenever any change happens in this inside the world of Dynamics 365, that any SQL data get updated, any NoSQL data get updated, any JSON file, whatever gets updated, this agent will automatically detect it. Okay, and then it will push that change to this destination agent. Now this destination agent will take those changes and it will push to the table which is present on the on this side. So you will have, so a very simple example, I would say, let us say this is a database here. Let's say a new user gets added, right? Let's say a new user Don gets added. Okay. So agent one will detect, okay, a new user got added. First of all, it will check what all changes have been done. Then John, right now, is it present in the right database? Tell me.
No, it's not present.
It's not present. So agent one will detect the change. It will say, okay, this is something John who was added. So it will say to agent two that again, all this is happening automatically. I'm not doing anything, right? It will automatically detect the change. It will take this, pass to the destination agent, say that, okay, this data got updated. You have to push into your system. Now, destination agent will have multiple database, multiple source systems, everything. It will identify which database this particular data should go to, and it will update it there. Okay, so it initiated from here, automatically move here, and it will basically get down in a table on the right side. Okay, I mean, if I talk, this is the overall flow that we have to build. I will still go and deep dive into how each entity will look like. But is it clear what we are going to build today?
So basically, here the objective is to identify the change, what is happening. The change is the main component here.
Identify change in one system, push it to the other. That is what you do in data migration pipelines. That, okay, data got updated every day. Data streams every end of day. Every day data gets updated. Your data streaming or data batch jobs, what do? They detect the changes and they run it. Basically, an engineer will sit, he will write down a script which will detect the change, run it, and it will push it to, maybe, for example, he will take from SQL Server and push it to a Snowflake server, right? Those kind of things will happen. So now all this is going to happen through your change detections to this agents. So your data engineering pipelines an agent will be created, which will basically, so these are the two agents, and a third agent will be there, which will be managing this. So basically this agent, which I'll tell you, okay, let's come to this later. Okay, is it clear, everyone, that what we are building before I move to the project architecture?
Satvik, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
So before putting into the sync, which is the destination, so there will be a kind of a temporary table also, like where the change data capture is stored, like in before Dynamics 365 and analytics.
Yeah. All that. So all those regular steps that you follow, everything will be done in an enterprise level, right? That okay, these changes have been done. First it gets validated, right? When it is done, then you compare, like all those things that you are saying. It's not that easy that, okay, copy the change from here and push to the other. No, you copy, you check, validate, okay, then you send to other entity will check whether that data exists in their system or not. If it exists, then it will update it. Otherwise, it will create a new, something like that will happen.
Yeah, kind of a watermark table.
Yes.
Right. Like
yes.
Before the ingestion into that.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
All that is going to happen on enterprise level, which I will show you in the next workshop only. Right now, my objective is just to show you one detection system. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have a question. That is here, the change detection which is there. So this is basically based upon LangGraph also, or any agent, one source is there, only one agent is there.
You can create, so I'll be creating 3 agents, but those agents can be on any framework. I'm going to create on LangGraph, but you can create on any framework. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Goal is to detect changes in source database and change destination database which use that source DB. So think like this: you have to make changes in the destination, but destination does not know anything about the source database. Destination will simply be take what agent gives it. Okay. You do have CDC mechanism, I agree, which handles all these changes. Databricks has CDC later. How does this help better using tools and MCP? So I would say that all those pipelines that you create, right? Yeah. So they are a workflow that you have created right now, which I spoke about, CDC mechanism. You run scripts, but you control them through a workflow. when you come through an agent, you want to control all that through an agent so that you don't have to manually hard code any direction. Okay, agent will automatically see what all things need to be done, and it will do automatically. So you don't need to create 100 scripts for 100 things. You just need to tell, okay, these are the scripts. Agent will automatically find the combination, and it will do things for you. So suppose you want to update 10 systems. You don't need to write 10 scripts. You just need to write one agent code, and that agent will automatically update your 10 systems. So that is the advantage of using agent. So we are not saying that existing CDC mechanisms are not good. We are going to leverage them. We are going to optimize them using agents. That's what we are going to do. Is it clear? Okay. So again, today I'm going to show you a very simple example, but first let's discuss how does this look like on an enterprise level. So what is going to happen? This is going to be a multi-agent orchestration system, which I have been speaking about. So nowadays, how companies are moving, let me tell you that every team, I told you, right? Every team creates their own MCP server. Similarly, every team is trying to create their own agent, which will handle everything. For example, you have a data engineering, you have 10 data engineering pipelines, right? You want to manage them through one agent. So one agent, so think like this, there is a one agent, okay? This is an agent one. Now this might be handling. So I'm not saying whatever you're doing right now is incorrect or something. I'm just trying to find ways how I can optimize them. Okay. So this might be handling 10 data pipelines. Okay. So what will happen? Anything that comes to your system, think like this is a security guard for your department agent. It will see if your department needs to update anything or your department's changes need to go anywhere. So this agent will do that. So your company or your team will create an agent and it will pass over to so there will be a central company. Okay, so think like this. Let's say I'm working at a company called Google. Okay, now Google will have different companies, different teams inside it. So one team will have agent one, one team will have agent two. Okay, one team will have agent three. Every team will provide their own agent. Okay, so let's say one agent is for CRM, one agent is for basically finance. Okay, one agent is for analytics, something like that. Right now, what happens that you have to go to each, you have to understand, right, each of them, and then only you can trigger anything. But what we are going to do, this will create a central agent, which is called Orchestrator agent, which is going to manage all these agents. So any task that comes to this Orchestrator agent, it will assign to these agents. That's how like any team works, right? There is a manager, under manager there are senior people, junior people, and they assign tasks to different people. So this is going to be an orchestrator in our company that we are going to create. This orchestrator will receive a trigger or an input that, okay, some changes, let's say you give an input, some changes have been done in my database, please go and push it to the analytics team. Now this agent will see, okay, some changes have been done in CRM, so it will call CRM agent that, okay, some changes have been done inside you, go and fetch those changes for me. So the CRM agent, which will have its own tools, will fetch all those changes and give to the orchestrator agent. Now orchestrator agent has those changes. Now it has to push those changes to analytics. So it will say to analytics agent that, okay, these changes you have to incorporate inside your team. So now this agent will run and it will incorporate inside its own team and update this. So this is how it is going to work. Earlier, these flows were not there. Yes, data pipelines, everything was there. I'm not saying they were not there, but you have to create a lot of manual workflows. Now, this agent will smartly, automatically pass things, do things, right? Everything that you were doing, it will automatically manage them. So this is a kind of system that we are trying to build. Let me take the questions. There are a lot of changes, difference between LangGraph and LangChain. It is not in the scope of this class, so I'll cover in some other class. Okay. You don't need to understand data migration for what I'm going to teach today. I'm going to use a simple 2 SQL tables. I'm going to show you how change in one SQL table is incorporated into other SQL table. Okay. In Orchestrator, I will come to that. Is it necessary? It is not necessary to include MCP in every agent project. Okay. The project that I'm going to show you, one agent will have MCP, one agent will not have MCP. MCP is what? Understand the core idea of MCP. Idea of MCP is to provide. Yeah, I'm going to show the working of the code as well. Don't worry. Okay. So just stay with me on the call, right? I will finish this session with the working code only. So don't worry about that. I won't be able to write everything from scratch because of the time constraint, right? We are already like done 1.5 hours. You want to discuss architecture or you want to have a break first?
Break first.
Okay, let's have a break. After that, I'll discuss the whole architecture, that there will be 3 agents created on which framework, and if you use any LLM, that does not
before break, can you please explain orchestration again?
Yeah, I'll come to that. Okay, let's take a break. I'll explain orchestration after break as well. Okay, and
Okay,
I'll create the architecture. We'll do the code. I don't know how long this session is going to be, but I'm trying to finish in 1 to 1.5 hours more. But because I have the code ready, I'll run it one by one, show you how things are working. Right. So the use case that we are one last thing, the use case that we are going to do today, I'm going to create 2 SQL tables. Okay. Change in one SQL table will be detected by the agent and it will be automatically passed to the other table. So that is what we are going to build today. Clear? So let's have a break. Right now it's 11:40, right? So let's resume at 12 India time. Is it good? I'm giving like 20 minutes break. I think that should be good enough. Those who have doubts, they can stay. Okay. Otherwise, have a break. We will resume at 12 p.m. India time. And if those who have doubt, you can stay. I will explain your doubts. Okay. Guys, and please forgive me. I might not be able to explain everything core because this is not a concept session. This is a project session. Okay. So just let's try to understand how the project is getting created. Okay. Yeah, please, if anyone has any doubt, please ask. Otherwise, you can go on break. Please come back before 12. I will start sharp at 12.
Hello, Satwik. I have a small doubt regarding LLM.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah. What's your name?
Yeah. Rahul Baruka.
Okay. Yeah, please.
So much as you told, like all the LLM will work in the same way. So why are you using the OpenAI in all of projects? Like, is there any technical reason? Like, you are using the OpenAI API key in the almost every type of projects. So is there any LLM based reason or any technical
which API I'm using?
OpenAI API.
OpenAI I'm just doing because companies use OpenAI only. That's why I'm showing, because it has a better reasoning. Grok APIs you don't use in production inside companies.
Yeah, right.
Grok APIs are good for POCs, but when you have inside companies also, you don't. Let me tell you, inside companies you don't use you don't use these API keys. Inside companies, what you do? Let me show you. You go to this portal.azure.com. Okay. You deploy LLM on a cloud and then you use it. So for example, meanwhile others join, let me show you what you do inside a company, right? You will go to this, you'll create a workflow project inside Azure, and inside that, what do you do? Let me show you. You create, let's say this is a new project, and go to the project, you go to the models and you deploy models here. If you see, I have deployed. So what you do, you deploy a base model. I have deployed, I'll show you this one. So you can select any model. Let's say deploy any model. You can select whichever model. Let's say you want to deploy, click and simply deploy. So it will come like this. And then you will click on this. And from there, you will get this API key. So in companies, actually, you use this API key, not this OpenAI key from the websites. Because Microsoft models are handled by Azure, and in companies, a lot of security measures need to be taken, which Microsoft provides. So you use things from Azure portal inside, not the direct.
And this will also be useful for billing, right?
Yeah.
This is also used for
billing.
Yeah, this is also useful. So it costs you money for every API call that you do.
Yeah.
So those are
Yeah, they can monitor the billing.
But I'm just showing you inside companies, don't go and start using this. No one is going to do this.
Right.
You have to use from Azure portal, or OpenAI models are available in Azure only, right? So you have to use from here.
Right.
Yeah,
but
thanks.
I have a
So
small
this
query.
can be.
Guys, you can go one by one. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to know, that is means the API key which is there. As per you mentioned that for the companies we use the Azure portal, so
Yeah.
it can be deployed also in AWS or any other cloud server.
OpenAI models cannot be deployed in the cloud. So OpenAI and Microsoft have collaboration. Okay. So you won't find OpenAI models on any other portal, AWS or GCP. So in AWS, you will find other models. GCP, you will find Gemini models, right? So that is there.
And
Yep.
So AWS have that this one, right? Like Anthropic and like AWS Bedrock and all this.
Anthropic is there in AWS. Lot of models are there. Even I forgot.
GCP Vertex AI is there. Okay.
AWS does not support OpenAI model. Yes.
So like, what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between AWS Bedrock creating AWS agents with AI agents with AWS Bedrock and our local? Is it only on the scalability or any other advantages also we get?
It's not only scalability. It's about security measures, right? Load balancing. So, for example, what happens when you deploy a model on your cloud? Okay, let's say you deploy a model here. What you can do, you can put these things, content filter, okay, and
PI checks. Okay.
PI checks, a lot of things you can automatically integrate, which this provides. For example, let me show you this AI services. Okay, guys, put yourself mute if you're not speaking, please. This has a lot of things like document translation, extract PII, right? So you don't need to build your custom logic. Simply go here, upload a file, it will extract all these models are trained like that, they will extract PII. Suppose you want let me show you this particular thing, language vision document. Okay, suppose you want to read, you want to use OCRs for reading forms, right? So you can come here, upload your form. Let's say this is a standard US tax form that you see. You simply, instead of writing now every model cannot read it, but these models on Azure, they have been configured like that only, that you simply run an analysis. You will see that all this will be available in quick seconds here in the right side. Again, I'm conducting a session on Azure next week. See, all this thing is here, and you simply click on view code. All that code you can get, simply copy, paste in your and deploy it. Okay, it is that easy with Azure.
So what if, like, yeah, so I have a doubt, sir. So what if what is the benefit like we will get when we use AI agents from AI Foundry, and if we create our own agents? Is it on the scalability or something like that, or any other advantages?
It's about abstraction. Lot of things when you create your own code, right? And so generally, I also create my own code only, and I recommend that only. But when you use AI agents from here, which you deploy, right? Lot of customization, I would say, security, tool calling, security. You can think prompt. There's a lot of things you would have heard. Prompt jailbreaks. Have you heard about prompt jailbreaks?
Prompt injections, jailbreak, yeah.
Prompt jailbreaks, right? You need to configure them manually in your code. Similarly, there are a lot of
Guardrails and all
things,
those things.
right? All those guardrails are automatically set in this. So when you deploy something here, you can think of like an enterprise solution, right? So you can simply take this and put in your code. The problem with this is that it's an abstraction. You don't know how it is working in the backend. You might need to go read everything again and again, right? So what I generally do, that if you have time, create on your own, but understand how they have built it so that you can put your custom logic inside it. If you don't have time, use the existing solutions quickly and deploy them. That's what I recommend.
In companies, like what they prefer, sir, like in the services or creating their own code?
Creating your own, I would say. Mostly I've seen. So in my company, I'm working on 3 projects. In one project, we are using this, we are creating a vision model, basically a use case where customer comes to the center, he submits his ID and all that, right? We have to automatically verify if he is correct or not. So what we do, that a customer, let's say, displays his ID card, let's say driver license. Our model will scan it, LLM will extract the content from it, send an API call to verify if this user is actually real or not, and then it will send a response. Okay, so there we have used this AI services, this which one I showed you, document intelligence. This is called document intelligence. So we use this from here. Other scenarios, we have built our own logic. So it totally depends what solution you are building.
We are using like temporal, sir. So we are building our custom agents using LangGraph, and we are orchestration to temporal.
Yes.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. Mostly 90% scenario go with custom logic only, I would say.
Yeah. So why? Because like the temporal worker can be scaled, so that the scalability will not be an issue there.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. What about inside the code while calling fast MCP is whether a prompt or argument value? A second, let me check this. Whether is not a prompt. This is the name of the MCP server. Okay, so this is you can give a description here. So this is the name of the MCP server. This is not any tool. MCP tool name is this. MCP tool description is this. So LLM is going to read this. Suppose you have created multiple MCP servers. Let's say this is whether this is okay. Let's say one is finance. Okay, one is finance. One is let's call it sales. Okay, marketing. So suppose agent has to decide which MCP server to call. It will decide from what you write here. Okay, and inside each MCP server, which tool to call, it will decide from this description that you have given. So this is the name of the MCP server.
So Satvik, once an
yeah, please.
Once an agent is basically agents are connected through the MCP server. So once an agent selects a particular MCP server, it goes and reads the description, and based upon that, it selects which tool to use.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. So what will happen? Let's say this is an agent, right? This agent, I give it a question. Give me weather in New York. Okay. So agent is smart enough to understand what user is asking. It will say, okay, user wants weather in New York. It will read, I have weather MCP, finance MCP, sales, and this. So it will say, okay, let's call weather MCP, because this matches with the intent of the question, right? Now inside this weather MCP, let's say you have these two tools. One is get weather, one is greet. So how will it read? What each tool does, it will read from this description that is given. So which tool?
So first it will fetch the server based on the intent of the query, and after that it will go through the description. Is it correct?
Yes. First it will get the right server based on the intent of the user question and the description. Here you can give a good detailed description of the server as well. That this is an MCP server, this does this, blah 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 blah. You can add here. Okay. So
everything will be dynamic.
Sorry.
Everything will be dynamic, like fetching server, fetching tools from server. Everything will be dynamic.
Yeah, dynamic. You are not You're not connecting anything. The whole concept of agent is that you want to decouple things, right?
Yeah. And with intelligence.
Right. So based on the intent, it will call the right MCP. And so when it is deciding this MCP, it will not read these tool descriptions, remember. Okay. So you need to provide something better from here. Once it is read, then it will go towards which to call. Or there is another way you can set up. Let me tell you. This is one method. Another which I will tell in MCP course later on, that you can also manually set up things like this, that first list all the tools from all the MCP servers. Okay. So what will you do? There's another method. So let me just quickly show you here.
List tools.
Wait a second. So there are two methods I showed you, right? Let's come here. So let's say this is your user question. Okay. Now you have multiple MCP servers. So let's call it, you have multiple MCP server 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So let's say this is MCP 1, this is MCP 2, and this is MCP 3. Okay. So one is that, and each MCP server is having its own
tools.
Okay. Tool 1, tool 2. Let's say this is for this, and let's say this is for this. Okay. Now, please listen this very thoroughly. This is agent, for example. Let's say this is agent, and here will come user question. Let's say this is user question. So agent is what? Agent is LLM only. What LLM is good at? Tell me. LLM is good at reading text. Reasoning, right? It will read some text and it will decide what to do. Now, the first step to call an MCP server is that agent will first of all read all the description of the MCP servers only. It will not read tools. You can, these are the settings which are available. You can remove all these tools right now. Okay. So it will read, which I just showed you, that, okay, these MCP servers are present. Let me call the right MCP server based on the user question. That is one method. Another method is that what you can do, you can, whenever a user question comes, agent can call all the MCP servers and ask them to provide me the description of all the tools you guys are having. Okay. So this agent will get access to all these 6 tools. And from there it will decide, okay, to answer this question, let's say I need this tool and I need this tool. So which MCP servers do I need to call?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. Okay, this is how it is done. Either you can configure it based on the description of MCP server only, or you can also configure it based on the tools as well.
Right.
Any doubt on this, anyone?
It's clear.
Description in MCP, I didn't get this. MCP is the whole protocol, right? Description in MCP, I didn't get your question. MCP, like description and MCP title, they are not interlinked. They are not interlinked. They are separate. So now think, this is a very simple example. Let us say I call it weather tool, but inside weather tool, I'm not using any weather. Inside weather MCP, I'm not using any weather tool. It will give me false result. It will always call weather MCP, but it will not be able to get the answer for you. Getting my point? Initially, these tools descriptions are hidden from agent. It will only read this MCP description. If you don't write proper description for MCP, it will not. A very simple example is this only, that I say that, okay, at mcp.tool, okay, and I say def add, for example, a comma b, return a plus b, and in the description I give this tool is used to get temperature. Okay. So what will happen? It will always call this. If you ask what is the weather in Phoenix, it will always call this function.
Right.
Because LLM cannot understand the code that time. What this code? LLM will simply read from the description only. So if you give wrong description, it will not be able to do the right calling. That is where prompt engineering comes.
Right. Yeah. And sir, I have a doubt. So there is some AI agent course going on, right?
Where?
In the data science, like you have texted now.
We
Few
have
weeks
a
back.
AI course going on. We have just started. It's
Yeah,
been going
AI
for.
agents, A2A, MCP, and all those things you mentioned. No?
So we have just we started the course in April, and if I show you, so what we have covered so far is we have just started LangGraph there. So we just created a couple of chatbots only there. So we have done 26 classes.
Oh, so Azure AI service is done. Okay.
Azure AI services has been done. Yeah. Agents has not been done into that. We are yet to do, but we have just started agentic AI there.
Is the dashboard available, sir, for this recording videos of the previous one in this course?
All these recordings are available here. Links are there.
Okay. Okay. Why? Because if I'm thinking to I'm a thought like enroll this course. So I'm worried like the timings are like night, no? So I just worried like
Timings are in night, but now I have moved it to. We have decided to move it to 11 p.m. my time, means India time 11:30. It's still late for you guys, but you can get recordings anyways. So yeah. So but this course we have just started agentic AI. Will cover MCP and all that there. But again, I mean, it's your call. I'm not pitching any course here. But yeah. So I was coming to this.
where I can find the details of that, like to enroll, to register.
You can send me a text after the call. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
You can just put on WhatsApp or just text me. So MCP is a PIP package only. Yes, MCP is a PIP package. Yes, this is true. Yes, security is the main aspect. Security is security and deployment in the sense that so why you do things in Azure is that Azure automatically provides you GitHub like this deployable pipelines, right? You don't need to write down Kubernetes things yourself. Everything is present. You just need to click and deploy. So that's why Azure, any cloud is very handy there. What about Google, Meta, and other LLM model? How they use here? You said, yeah. So as I mentioned, Google like this Gemini model you use through GCP, right? And some LLMs are present at AWS, some are at Azure, some are at GCP. You need to see where. So in like wherever I have worked, we have only used Azure mostly because companies standardize on OpenAI right now. So that's why they go with Azure. But yeah, it can be changed later on. I don't know. But I really recommend at least knowing Azure Cloud for sure. That is something that helps.
Satvik, one more doubt. Like whenever we are creating a tool, is it always necessary that we have to create a like MCP tool itself? I think it's not always.
No, it's not always. What I told you in the start. MCP is not mandatory. Okay, but MCP is recommended. There are two different things, right? You can create agents without MCP. I will show you in today's project only. MCP is not required. If someone says it's mandatory, no, but it is recommended. Companies are moving towards it. Okay, so it's good to learn. And I told you the reason as well, that why it is recommended, right? And
yeah, correct.
Writing is very simple. Let me tell you, it's like this only. You just need to understand the way the code is written. If you just need to add one more tool, just take this block, copy it, paste it, and change your function. That becomes your another MCP tool. That's it. Okay. Yeah, please. Okay, so I think it's 12 right now. We can get started. I hope everyone is back, right? we are still 40 people. That's a good number, I would say. We are going to start with the architecture of the project, first of all, and I will also show you code and all that to run the project and all those things. Okay. So as I told you, at enterprise level, this project I will cover in a separate workshop. I am planning on 23rd, where I will show you something real, like maybe something in cloud, automatically triggering happening, those things I will show you. Okay. And actually we'll try to create event buses and all those things, logging, monitoring, and all things which are present will go there. But let's try to understand what we have to, how we are going to create this project, first of all. So in this project, and please focus on the architecture a lot, what I'm going to explain, and please ask questions. Okay. So in what we are going to do, we have two systems. So let me show you the GitHub. Okay. So we have an HR agent and a payroll agent. So HR agent, where users information is getting updated. So for example, let's say user can update his name, salary, location, like a lot of things he can update. According to that, this information needs to go into the payroll system as well, because when payroll processes, it happens based on your like your position in the company, where you are living in, taxes are dependent on that, right? And a lot of parameters which you are having. So based on that, payroll data needs to be synced automatically. Yes or no? So we are going to create an HR system here. In the left hand side, we will have an HR system. Okay. So you can let's simply call this an HR system. And on the right side, we will have a payroll system. Okay. So here what will happen, in HR system, we will have user information like name, email address, and all those things. Let me show you if I have that right now. Scripts. Yeah. So I will have information like this: employee ID, name, email, department, very basic information. I'm not like making it too complicated right now. Okay. So these information, it's a SQL table. So here what will happen, there's a SQL table present here. So think like this. This is a SQL. So you can say this is a this is an HR system, and HR information, for example, it is present here, and you will have user name, so multiple rows. So two things are possible in this state. This is a SQL table. Okay, HR information which is present in a SQL table. So think like this. This is like a new row can get added, or you can update a data. For example, I can go and update my salary. I can go and update a location, or I can go, let's say a new employee joined the company. I can go and add him, or I can, let's say an employee left the company. I can go and remove him from HR system. So the moment this thing happens, I also want corresponding information to be updated in my payroll system. Okay, so now this is also a payroll system. This is also I'm keeping SQL for now, but in actual things are different. One might be SQL, one might be no SQL. Those things we will handle later. Okay, so what is going to happen, that we will be having two agents. This will be an agent one, okay, which is your HR agent. Okay, we'll create these two agents. So this is an HR agent and this is a payroll agent. Okay, payroll agent. So what HR agent is going to do, it is going to use, basically in the HR system, some data change happens, some change data happens. HR agent is going to read that. Okay, so and it is going to generate a payload of whatever changes have been done. So what I'm going to create, I will have two tools with my HR agent. So first of all, I'll create an HR MCP server. Okay, here. So HR MCP server. So you can think of this as, so this is an HR agent, this is your payroll agent, okay? Or let's change it. This is payroll agent, this is my HR MCP server, and MCP server will have what?
Tools.
Tools, right? So I'm keeping two tools here. I will have one tool, okay, and I will have another tool here. So one tool will be to CDC, change data, capture change, basic capture data change, something like that. Okay. So this tool is used to capture whatever changes have been done inside the system, inside the HR system. Okay. So this is tool 1. Tool 1. And second data that I'm going to generate, second tool which is present here is basically whatever changes have been done, it will create a JSON file for that. Okay. Tool 2, create JSON file. Okay. So whatever changes have been done, it will create a JSON file so that basically think of it like as a monitoring space where, or a dashboard space where whatever changes have been done, you are putting them there in a JSON file. Good, everyone, so far? Any doubt? Any doubt, anyone? Please tell me. From the HR side. I'm surprised you guys don't have any question. Okay.
So, Satvik, why do we need this JSON?
Because
format?
we will need to communicate. I'll tell you why we need this JSON. Okay, I'll come to that. Basically, whatever changes you do, you need to pass it to this payroll agent, right? So I'm passing that in form of a JSON.
Mm-hmm.
You can pass in other format as well. Some text document, it's up to you. I'm using a JSON file. Okay. So think it will look like this. Let me just show you first of all. So whenever some change happens, it will look like this. Let's say I added a new employee, let's say this particular employee. So the data will look like this. It will say source system is HR system, target system payroll, at what time the change was triggered, how many changes were done, and this was the change for the person that was done there. And then a type of this will be generated, which will be passed to the agent.
Okay.
Yeah, please. Anyone?
But sir, so I have a doubt. So in coming to the change tool, like which will monitor, keep on monitoring the change.
Yeah.
So how it will be like? Is it like a cron job or
right now
how it will monitor?
It can do through cron job, right? We can use a webhook as well. Those things can be done. Right now, I'm simply going to use a SQL trigger.
Okay.
Okay. Just to keep it simple, because my objective is to tell you how it works. But in reality, it happens through webhooks or cron jobs, as you mentioned. So also, if you come to LangGraph, as I showed you, right, you will see all these things in the guides. If you go,
webhooks are there.
Right, everything is present. Webhooks and again, I will cover that later. Okay, so this is my HR agent. Now,
So why do we need two tools here? So we can simply use one tool, right?
You can use one tool. Basically, I just want to show you execution. That's why I'm doing two tools.
Okay.
And you want to decouple things. That one will only track this. You don't want to put a lot of logic inside a single tool. You want to keep them like a small task, kind of microservices, right? So it's up to you. You can create one tool as well. It's up to you. But I am just trying to keep it separate.
Yeah, basically here HR information is present in the SQL table.
Yeah.
So maybe that SQL table you can convert it into JSON and then
No, but how to read the changes, right? The thing is, I add one data to it. I have to read that particular change only.
So here the tool 2, the JSON file which tool 2 is creating the payload, JSON payload, that is the input for
payload.
the
Yeah, basically
payroll
this
agent.
is payload creator. Payload. You can call it payload creator.
That will be an input for payroll agent, right?
That will be an input for Payroll Agent. Yes.
So
Remember,
what I'm
it is not necessary to have a JSON. Just to tell you. Yeah, please.
okay.
Guys, understand, LLM is a text. LLM reads text. You give it a JSON, you give it a normal text, it will read it. I'm just giving it a JSON because software systems are standardized on JSON, right? It reads them better. That's why I'm using JSON file. That's the only answer. Clear? Anyone, any doubts so far? And in Payroll Agent, I'm just going to create, I'm not going to create any MCP server here. I'll just create one tool, update data. Okay. But in reality, let me show you how it will look like. In reality, first of all, you will, there will be a tool to verify the changes. Okay. Then to check whether that user exists or not. If user exists, then you need to update the data. Then what you need to do? Update. So otherwise you need to create. Update, otherwise you need to create. Okay. Similarly, like a lot of tools can be created logically. That's how it works. But right now I'm just keeping it simple, just creating one tool, and it's not an MCP server, just one tool to update payroll database. Okay, payroll table. Clear? So with this, why I'm choosing it this way, I want to show you that agents can be created through MCP server as well, without MCP server as well. Okay, that's why I'm choosing. And remember, this agent does not know what tools this agent has. This is a very, very important information which you need to know, that this is a separate system whole. Okay. Wait a second. Send the backward. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know why it's not coming, but I'll do it this way. I don't know why. So just think like this. This is a separate entity. So this agent will only talk to this agent. The agent does not know how many tools this agent has. This agent does not know how many tools this has. So there will be a simple, there has to be a communication between. So there are two ways of doing it. Okay. Either these agents talk to each other directly. Okay. One is that method, and there comes a thing you all would have heard somewhere, that is called A2A protocol, right? We're not going to do that in this session, but this is how also industry is moving towards. So how this works is that this agent will detect some change, it will pass to this. And remember, a very important thing, these agents can be on different frameworks. Like this is on LangGraph, this can be on 𝗘𝗃. This is on Google ADK, this can be on OpenAI SDK, whatever, right? So these agents may not know everything about it. So if these two agents are built on different frameworks, then there's a different way to handle things that comes through A2A protocol, which I showed you, A2A protocol. Okay, protocol. This is also, this is called agent-to-agent communication, that how agents talk to each other. You can read about them. It's a very complex thing. How it works, if you go in reading how it works, it took me like a lot of time to read all the documentation codes, how it's working, but it is very interesting how it works. There is a concept of agent cards through which it works, but again, that's not for this session. But what we are going to do in this session is that these agents are not going to talk directly to each other. Okay, these agents will be managed by something called an orchestrator agent. Okay. So there is a central orchestrator agent. Orchestrator agent. So what this orchestrator agent is going to do, it is, so user basically, which I told, right? Any trigger will happen, anything information. So you're not going to talk to this agent. Simply user will talk to the orchestrator agent that, okay, I made some changes in the database, please go and update them. So this orchestrator agent will have the capability to speak to HR agent, okay, and it will have ability to talk to payroll agent. So let us say, now let's try to understand one flow. Let us say I give it an information that, okay, I added, let's say user sends this message that, okay, I added an employee, John, okay, and 31 years old, something like this. Let's say, please update the system. Again, when we'll create real pipelines, this will come through a trigger. No user is going to come and chat with the system. So that text you can trigger through those things. But right now, please update the systems. Something like this is there. Okay. So let's say this message comes to this agent. So now this agent, what it will do, it will have the description that this HR agent reads information from this, which has access to these two tools, which this payroll agent has this, which has access to this tool. So it will say, okay, first of all, let me capture the information from HR system, right? So what it will do, it will handle the control to the HR agent. Now HR agent has two MCP tools. First of all, it will call the CDC to get the relevant change. Okay, let's say this is Dawn, is information and all that. And then it will generate a payload. So this payload will be generated and passed to the HR agent, and it will be given to the orchestrator agent. Okay. So once this is done, this payload will come here and it will go to this orchestrator agent. Clear till this point?
What is payload?
Payload is nothing but just an information that, okay, name, age, that information is called payload, basically. That name, John, okay, this is just a JSON, that's why it's called a payload, age 31. Okay, let's say this is the information this agent got from here. This information, which is also called payload, this agent has them now. Clear? Any doubt?
So do we need to give the timestamp last 1 hour, or what if the record is already updated?
We can give all that. Give me, tell me all the changes that happened in last 1 hour. Those things we can do. I'll come to that. But just understand the flow right now. Is it clear that user gave the trigger or the question? This agent will call this agent, and this agent will work internally and give it the input, whatever it needs. Correct? Now this agent will tell to this payroll agent that, hey, I have this change. Can you please go and update in your system? Okay. So this agent will get this payload, and it has a tool which can update. So this information will go to this tool, which will execute, and data will be added to this particular payroll SQL. Okay. So first information gets added here. Then this particular person says that, okay, I have done some changes. It reads from here, gets this information, takes here, then it passes here, then it says here, and then it gets updated here. All this happens very quickly, but I'm just showing you the flow. Clear? Any doubt in the flow?
So user query directly will be the SQL query in the HR system SQL table, no?
User is not going to give any SQL query to you. User is simply going to tell user in the backend will update something and tell that, okay, I made some changes. Or for more advanced scenarios, the moment user updates it, this agent will automatically trigger that, okay, some change. What you can do, you can create a trigger that whenever some update happens to this SQL table, it will trigger to this agent that some changes have been done. Please check and process them. So something like this can be done. Some changes have been done in HR system. Process them. So this type of text, the moment any change happens in this SQL table, you can pass this to orchestrator agent automatically. Rather than a user passing it, you can pass through a standard trigger as well. Okay. And this particular agent will see, understand the intent, and then, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, and it will fetch the changes from here, pass the change from here. So this is where people were asking me, we already have CDC scripts. So that CDC script which you have, which it will come here. So it's not that those CDC scripts don't have any use case. They have the use case, just that we are orchestrating them in a better way through agents. Any questions?
So with that text, like we have to pass the payroll, right? So in the payroll, it's a JSON. So
yes,
if the payroll SQL, so if the JSON will be converted to the payroll SQL, SQL query, the SQL query, and it will be injection, right?
There's no SQL query injection here. In the backend, I'll show you. I'll create a SQL trigger which will trigger the changes, and it will pass that particular thing to this tool. I'll show you how that thing works.
Sure.
The logic, how to change capture, all those things I'll cover. But first, tell me, is this clear what we are going to build today?
Yes,
it's clear.
Any doubt in the flow? Now, a lot of things can be added to this, which I'm not going to cover in this session, and which are enterprise level. The number one is agentic memory. Okay. So what I mean by agentic memory is that it is because of time constraint. Otherwise, I would have covered. Suppose you made some incorrect changes. You want to say, get me all the changes I've done in past 1 hour and undo them. Right? So what will happen in that scenario? Tell me.
It will roll back.
So it will fetch from
wherever the
memory.
origin.
Yeah. If you have an agentic memory, it will have a memory whatever it has done in last 1 hour, right? It will read those. So it will go to payroll, delete them, then it will go to HR, right? It will delete them, whatever it has to do. So that comes from agentic memory. So what happens in agentic memory? All the tool calls that you see, that when user, so a lot of communication are happening here. If you see, first user is communicating with orchestrator. Orchestrator is communicating with HR agent. HR agent is communicating with server. Server is communicating with tool. Tool might be internally communicating with some API and all those things, right? So all these changes, all these tool calls, different things that you see are logged in a database in the backend, and they are stored in a Cosmos DB mostly. You will hear this thing. Cosmos DB is nothing, a NoSQL in. So let me show you. It's in Azure. Azure provide this Azure Cosmos DB, which is a NoSQL way where you, or Redis also you can use, which are used to store cache or memory things, right? So those integration are done that time. Second thing, there's a concept called event bus. Okay. I'm not going to tell that right now. What happens think like this. Suppose to let's say this orchestrator agent wants someone to work, right? It will not directly communicate with them. It communicates through a concept of event bus. So what it does some changes. It pushes to the event bus, and the agent will read from that event bus that how it is working. I'm not coming there. It will take time. This is a very, very important concept in terms of scalability. Okay. Then comes concept of monitoring, logging basically. Okay. Logging, and then there is a concept of A2A server, A2A protocol, which is there. Apart from A2A protocol, there is you will of course you will see deployment concepts as well. That how to basically put all these MCP servers in Docker, and how to put agents in Docker, how to put them into production, right? That is there. Apart from that, I would say load balancing is there. Load balancing you can do. Okay. Load balancing, you can add your proxy servers, because you don't want your agents to reach to some person who I mean someone to exploit it, right? So what you actually do, you create a server and you create a proxy server around it, so that people cannot directly access your agent and play with it. Plus apart from this, I would say there are two more things. Let's not go there. It will confuse you guys. So these things I'm not going to cover in this session. It will be in when I cover the proper like scalability things. There I'll cover in that session. So in this session, we are going to build this particular system. Okay. All good, everyone. Now I'm going towards the coding part. So if the architecture is clear, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any doubt, please ask. And otherwise, I'll proceed with it. Okay, so let's proceed with the project. So I'm going to trash. Let's simply take this. Okay, so I'm going to add a readme .md file here, where I'm going to add sorry, it is already there. So here I'm going to first discuss how the project should look like, right? The how should you create the project inside your setup. So first of all, you need, what do you need? You need to create SQL tables, correct? You need to create HR table. Then you need to create payroll table, right? Then you need to create a SQL trigger. How many of you don't know SQL trigger? Okay, SQL trigger basically is, it comes in SQL. I'm not going to teach you SQL trigger today, but basically what is that, whenever some change happens in your table, right, in SQL table, let us say you insert row, you update row, you delete a row, so you can trigger those particular things. Okay, so whenever something is going to happen, I'm going to trigger that particular thing in this SQL trigger. That's what we are going to use. Okay, so this is my base setup. After that, I will create an MCP server. Then I will create an HR agent. Then I will create a payroll agent. Don't worry, it will be quick. Okay, and then I'll create an orchestrator agent. Okay, this is my plan. Orchestrator agent. I have code written. I will move it one by one here, and I will show you. Okay, because I don't have time to write everything from scratch, but still don't worry, I'll walk you through each line of the code. So first of all, let's create these tables. Okay, so I'll come to the GitHub. This is my okay, scripts. So okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a folder scripts, and inside that, let's create this. So let's create a folder, a folder scripts. Okay, inside scripts, I'm going to add a file. We can call it, can call it any HR. Scripts. What's its name? Okay, init underscore HR underscore DB. So I can give it init underscore HR underscore DB. You can give it any name. I'm just keeping it because in the codes I have used these names exactly. So I'm just keeping it the same name. So what is going to happen? First of all, HRDB. So let me walk you through this code. Okay. First of all, how many of you know I'm going to use a SQLite database? So SQLite is a very small light SQL database which is present in Python. You can VS Code, you can directly use it. Okay, you don't need to go through Postgres and all that. So how does it work? Let me tell you. First of all, you provide a path to the system that, okay, I'm going to create a folder data, and in that I'm going to create a database called as HR system. Forget all so with the setup connection and all that, but basically you have to see I'm creating this table in my database employees, and employees have this employee ID, first name, last name, email, department, position, and all these things. Okay. So this is the first table that will get created. Okay. You don't worry about these syntaxes. You have the GitHub. You can watch that later. But main thing, the target of this code is to create this particular employee table first of all. Okay. Now tell me this thing. What all tables should I have in my database for the HR?
Columns?
No, columns is a table, right? I'm talking about table.
Employees.
Employee department.
Employee change log.
So one is the whatever change happens, right? Let's say I add a row, I add a new customer, I add a new employee, I remove an employee, update information. Whatever change happens, it will be logged in this another SQL table, which is called employee change log. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put employee ID, change type, old values, like new. What was the earlier value? What was the new value? If there is any change, and at what time that particular thing was changed. Timestamp. I will add a current timestamp. Okay. And foreign key, like these are all a SQL things. I'm just telling you that these things exist. Okay. Plus, you will create a trigger. Now, trigger. You'll create two triggers. One trigger will check if something is added in the database, and one trigger will check if something is updated. Okay, so this trigger is for let me walk through. This trigger is for creating when you update something, when you add something to the table. So the syntax for that is create trigger employee insert trigger. So this variable, this trigger which I'm creating, after, so when will it get trigger? After insert on employees table. So whenever some row get added in the employees table, this trigger will get executed. Clear? Okay. And this is the code that will run. What this code is doing, it is adding these fields into that okay, these names have been updated. So it will basically log this data that okay, this information has been added. This is a trigger for that. Similarly, a trigger for update is also happening. You have the syntax. You can see that. Also, I have a video on triggers on my YouTube channel. You can watch there as well. Or that what is SQL trigger. It is open for everyone. You can watch that. So when I run this particular command code, what will happen? An employees table will get created. An employee change log table will get created, and two triggers, employee update trigger and employee insert trigger will get created. Okay, so let me run this script. Why is it running like this? Unable to open the, wait a second. So what I can give, the problem is in my system. Wait a second. So you can simply give a path as well here. Instead of this, what you can do, just remove this. So okay, let me add a new folder data. Sorry. So I'm adding a new folder data. In this data folder, I'll be adding all the tables. So let us say I do this pwd. Okay. So users change detection. In change detection, I have a folder data. Inside that, I am creating this in HR system.db. This database I am creating. Okay.
Just one question. Can we use, let's say I want to use the third party's database, then I use API to pass in.
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Let's say I recite my database in, I use a third party database, just example like Oracle, DBS, or maybe say I use the simple database, then which is third party one, then I use API to call in to put the trigger or create the tables
Yeah, those
using
things you
API.
can do. Those things you
Can we do right? But today you are showing is that you are creating this table inside the local drive, right?
Yeah, right now I'm creating local because this is a POC, but you can put in some cloud, some other SQL server wherever you want to create.
Okay. That will require the API, lah. Am I right?
That will be done through API, yes.
Okay, thanks.
So this table got created. Let's come here, HR system DB. If you see, I have 3 tables: employee, change log, employee, and this is randomly created. So if you see, I have 5 employees: employee, first name, last name, email, department, partition, and all those things are when this information was created, when was this updated, all these things are updated. As I mentioned, this is just a SQLite example. You can also do in which I will show in the second workshop, how to put in a production SQL database like Azure or some other thing. You can put it there. Okay, now this was HR system. Now next, what I need to do, I need to see if it is working. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a script which will basically simply update changes. So add data.py. Okay. So this script is basically trigger. From this script, you will add something to a table. You will add or update, and you will see what changes have been triggered. So wait a second. Why is it coming in data? Scripts. Okay, so let's take this DB path and put it here. Okay, remove this. Path is equal to this. Okay. So how it is adding right now, again, this all comes under SQL. That first is you add an employee. Let's say you add employee ID, name, and all these things. You create a function. And what do you do? That you will basically run that trigger here that you will. So let me walk you through step by step. What do you do? First of all, you check whether that database exists or not. Okay. If it does not exist, you will say run the database first. You'll set up a connection with the SQL. And then let's say you add something that, okay, select star from employees where employees something. So it will basically fetch all these details. So basically it is checking if the employee exists. So when I'm creating a new employee, I will check whether the employee exists or not. And how I'm doing that based on employee ID. So employee ID is my primary key. Okay. And now this is the code to insert a new employee in the system. Insert into employees and all those things, right? I've created a try catch logic and all those things. So, and you do connection.commit. So when you do this, what happens that a user is added to the system. Okay. After that, once you add someone, you want to trigger, right? Whatever trigger do you create, you want to run it. So you will check from here that whether trigger was generated or not. Okay. And after that, you will run that to show whatever changes have been done. So this is the code. What will happen that whenever you add something, whatever changes have been done, they will be going into this table through the trigger. Okay. And then you can read it from this particular script. And similarly for update employees as well. So let me show you by adding something that how does it work. So let's say I add a new employee. If we check the HR system right now, I have 5 employees here. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to come here. Let's say I want to say employee 006. Okay. For example, I add just my name. Okay. And anything, I'll just say. And let's say I'm not touching any other information. So what will happen that so from this particular code, you can simply update things that, okay, whatever changes have been done, you can create it. So let's do this. I'll say Python 3 add underscore data. What thing does db underscore path exist? Wait a second. Let me remove this logic. Okay. So see this information, the trigger gave me this information that, okay, I just added this data, employee 6, Satvik this is an email ID and all this, and trigger got executed. So this employee 6 got added to the change log. Let's go to the change log table. If I come to the change log table, if I refresh it, this employee 6 is added there, right? So through this is the way how I am handling the change in the system. Clear, everyone? Okay. Now one last code for the database is for the payroll system. So for payroll system also, it will be done like this only. Init payroll db. I'll simply copy it. It's exactly same what we did here. So I'll come here and I will create a new script. Init underscore payroll db.py. Okay.
So is it like when you're adding employees to the employee table, automatically the employee will be adding the change log, log,
it's
or how
not
it is?
automatic, right? I have created trigger for that. I have created trigger, right? If you see here,
If you're adding employees, it will be creating 2 tables, right, at the same time.
Yes, yes. When you add employee, it gets updated into, first it gets updated here, okay? And because it gets updated here, triggers get executed and trigger puts it into this particular thing. Got it?
Right. So our agent will check in MCP, our tool will check into this one, or
I'll come to that. A tool will read this table, change log.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So change log is nothing but audit tables, right?
Yeah, you can say audit table or something, anything you can think of. Now I'm going to payroll. Same thing I will do. Simply payroll system.db. Okay. I'll remove this. Remove this. Okay. So now let me run this. So payroll system is also created, which has payroll employees. It has only 3. If I try to see, my HR system has 6 employees and my payroll system has how many? 3 employees. Correct? So whatever changes have been done recently, I will put to this table through agent. We will see all that. But this is our boilerplate code where we are setting the scripts for all this. All good, everyone? Any doubt?
Log is for just delta changes, right?
Log is for delta changes, yes. Any question, anyone?
Hello, Satvik. I have a small like how do you view the tables in the VS Code? Like what is the extension? Like
what is
for this? How to view this DB like HR system.db? You are viewing in this type of format, right? So this is SQLite extension or
this is SQLite only. This is SQLite instance.
Okay, SQLite. Okay,
See,
thank you.
In the code I have given it, import SQLite, right? I'm using SQLite here. But you can use any other database as well. The code will remain same. It just you need to make that API call to fetch into that data, but code will remain same. So, any other question, anyone? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, so let's go to our task plan. What was there? Our plan was to, where is it? So we are done with the HR table. We are done with the payroll table. We are done with the SQL trigger. What is the next task?
MCP
server. Okay. MCP server, you know the basic code which I showed you, right? What do? We create MCP and add MCP.tool. You can add 2 tools. So if I go to the architecture, what is there? If I go to the architecture of my project, I need to create 2. One is change data capture and one is payload tool. Okay. So let's come to this. HR MCP server. Okay, I'll copy all this. Just checking. Okay. So let's go to this MCP server first of all. So I will say HR_MCP_server.py. Okay, and I'll paste the code. I'll walk you through the whole code, don't worry. So, but if you guys understand, you guys remember the flow of the MCP code, right? What do? We do MCP.server import fast MCP. Remember? This is for logging. You can skip this code. You don't need to understand all this right now. So if you remember, I create MCP is equal to fast MCP, and we mentioned HR change detection server, something like that I have given. Okay. Then what is this data directory? Okay. Root directory is this. Okay. Yeah, it will automatically do. So now I have two tools. One tool is to detect changes, right? So if you see at mcp.tool, one tool is to detect and track unprocessed employee change from the HR database. Correct? So what it is going to do, it is going to read from there. Okay, and from which table is it going to read? If you see, from employee change log. Okay, so it is going to do read all these details, compare this with the original table, employee table. If something is missing and all those things, it will do. Okay, do a left join just to compare, or an inner join. Those logics you can set up. And if you see, this data basically is generated, that this data has, this change has been generated, something like that you will see here. Okay, this all is SQL commands only. You can read them later, but what is happening, I'm reading through that change data table, and it will generate something like this, that okay, these changes have been done. So this is my change data capture tool. Clear? Any doubt in this? But how this is working? Forget the coding part for now. Just understand the flow of the code. That you read that SQL table, you do some inner join or left join to get the right details, and you basically write down a for loop to put everything in a dictionary, log ID, employee ID, change values, old values, and all those things. You put it. Yeah. Okay, and you close the connection, and you say that to the user that okay, done, everything has been done at this particular time. So this is the first tool. Clear? Any doubt in this? Anyone?
How are we checking like the change? Is it based on the timestamp?
Timestamp, yeah, it will check. No, not only timestamp. What we are doing is that we are doing an inner join between employee change log and the employees table. Okay. So technically, what do we want? The information which is present in employees but not present in employee change log. How can you get that?
Join, right?
Some join, right? You can do some inner join, right? Or not inner join, exclusive join. Basically, the information which is present in the left table only, something like that. You can, right? So that data you are taking and you are putting here. Okay.
Right.
So we are sending only the changes of the data?
Only the changes of the table. Yes. Is it clear?
So this is for the create, right? This is for create employees. But for update, we need to check the timestamp, right?
No, for anything. So anything that happens in this table, what it will do, it will compare the rows with all the rows with your change log table. Okay. Any mismatch is there, it will log that.
Okay, fine.
So it is basically right now a very basic logic is there of joins. Left join, you do the left join, you check whether an information present in the only left or not, right? Whatever information is present, you take that and you store them somewhere. Correct?
Right.
That is more of a SQL thing, I would say. That if two tables are present, one information is present in one is not in another, how can you get to know all those things, right? So that's more of a SQL logic, but which I put here. It has nothing to do with Python, right? Once you will read the code, right, one by one you will understand. So this is my first tool. What is my second tool? I have to generate a payload, create a JSON file with sync payload from unprocessed change. So whatever things I'm putting in this this particular thing, I will create a JSON file. So simply take all those things, right, and put them in a JSON file. So what do you do? With open payload path this, and you JSON dump into this particular file, whatever change you generate a payload. So this is a payload that source system, target system, changes, right? Changes are coming from here, and all those things you are reading, and you are putting them into a payload file, a JSON file, which I will show you. Is it clear?
What payload is getting? Only changes?
Payload is only getting the changes. So right now I added 𝗧𝗿𝗃 here. So payload file will only have 𝗧𝗿𝗃 in there, only that information.
Changes with the employee ID also, right? The primary.
It will have a lot of details. I showed you, right? A payload, how does it look like? I will show you in this when I run the code as well. So if you come here, where is it? This is it, right? So this is how payload looks like. So it will have few things: source system, target system, when it got, how many changes have been done? One change. And this is the exact change that, okay, this employee ID got added. What type of change was that? Insert or update? What is the old value? What is the new value, right? At what time did it change? Current employee data, and all those things will be there. Okay.
And what will the payload for the update?
This same information will go to the payload, to the update. There I will process.
This is the insert, right? When new record is created when a new record is created, this will be the structure of the payload. And
this
when some
payload that is going to the agent 2, agent 2 will process this information in a different format and give a different format to its table. I'll show you that format. Don't worry. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. This is just for LLM to read. LLM will read this, and depending upon the system, it will pass to its other thing. Okay. So now I'm going to run this. Just let me cross check few of the things. I'll directly put the root path here so that it does not resolve CD PWD. So this is my root directory, and detection data, and data directory dot this. Okay, let me put all this here. Okay, users this, and then you will have data directories. Same thing will happen for here. That way was also fine, but I'm just, a lot of people don't understand this way. That's why I'm going this way. So my payload path, it will be created in the data folders. If you see change detection data and a sync load payload.json, it will be created into that. And HRDB path is this, data directory is this, payload path is this. All good, everyone? Any doubt with this MCP server? So two tools are there. One tool is to detect the changes. One is to create the payload. Okay. So let's run this now. CD scripts and sorry, Python 3.
So that payload will be stored in a file, right? JSON file.
Yes.
Okay.
HRDB path. Let me check it.
I think file is not saved.
Yeah, I think file is not saved. That's the only reason. Yeah, see, my server is live now. Correct? All good, everyone? Now, if I do npx, that particular thing, npx, okay. So more, I can go here and check my connection tools. I have detect changes. I have create sync payload, right? But Again, right now I'm not taking any input, so no input is coming, but it will show you that I'll get an output like this and I'll get something. Now, if I run something right now, for example, let's say I run this create sync payload tool. Let me just run it. Okay, it will give me a success. Okay, right now it will not work because I don't think I've triggered anything yet.
Hello, Satvik.
Yeah, please.
For both the tools, we are using the same MCP.
Yeah, we are using the same MCP server. So this is your HR MCP server, okay, which is just now created. Good, everyone. Now let's move. So let's come to the README file. What we have created our MCP server. What is our next task? HR agent. Okay, just 3 more tasks, guys. I mean 3 more codes, and we are done with the session. Thanks for staying this long. Okay, so let's come. Was it this code? Okay. So I'll come to HR agent now. Okay. Now HR agent is, I am creating it on LangGraph. Okay. So HR_agent.py. So wait a second, let me just check why this tool was not working. Let's just check that error first. String object has no attribute exists. Let me just check this thing in server, why this thing could be giving an error. Exists.
In line number that DB path dot exist if condition.
Oh, this
if
one,
condition.
right? We need to remove this. Yeah. I think it will be present at multiple places. Let me just remove them. DB. Yeah, let's remove this as well. Okay. Data directory mkdir dot. We can remove this as well. Parents true exist. Okay, true. Okay, let's see. First of all, let's by running this method. Does it work? So I'll go to Python 3 HR_MCP. Okay, let's recheck this tool inspector. Let's reload it. Why is it not coming? Okay, I think I removed that command. npx
At the rate of model context protocol.
At the rate of model context protocol.
/ inspector.
Oh, sorry. Wait a second. I'm just checking it.
MCP and the npx at the rate of, I think there is no gap, I think.
Yeah. Wait a second. Let me just get it right now from here on.
Sure.
MCP inspector command. Right. So it is npx at, oh, sorry. Yeah. There was slash that was missing. So it started MCP inspector. Let's go here. Let's connect. Go to tools, list tools, create this. Okay. So I think it generated. Let's go and check my system. Is it generated? Data. Where is this? Users desktop chain data sync payload.json payload path. should have been generated. Okay, we'll come to that in few minutes. That's fine. Let's come to the agent first of all. Okay. So now, okay, Azure. I want to show through Azure. Okay. So what I'm going to show you through Azure, because this is how do we use. So it's very simple to create agents in I would say when you're creating inside a LangGraph. There's a simple command called as create React agent. Okay, so let me show you this through LangGraph page only. If you come through LangGraph, LangGraph pre-built. Okay, it's very how to create a LangGraph agent. Very simple code. That what you do, you create this class called create React agent, which comes from LangGraph only. LangGraph.prebuilt, you import create React agent. And remember, for an LLM agent to work, what all do you need? You need an LLM, you need a prompt, correct? So you provided the model and you provided the tools, what you have to give, and a prompt that you need to provide. So this is the architecture or syntax of creating an agent in a very basic way in LangGraph. So you need to provide a model, tools, and prompt. Same thing I'm going to do in my code, but little bit differently. The problem here is that first of all, I have to load tools through MCP server. Okay, so I showed you that method, right? You use client equal to this, you give the URL name, transport this, and done this. So what you do, you say agent equal to create React agent, LLM, tools you are getting from here, and you give a prompt. You are an HR system agent that detects employee changes, blah, blah, blah. And you give it a name, HR agent. Okay, these are all the things that you give to your create React agent. In one single line, you can just create this agent. So all you need to give it a model, tools, prompt. Clear? Any doubt, anyone?
The reason we are creating here React because of it has to reason and choose the tools, right?
Yes. Okay. So it's very simple React agent, LLM, tools, prompt, and it will work. Now comes, we have to pass this Azure. Now I'm not using direct OpenAI model. I can use that as well, but I want to show you how to use cloud ones as well. Okay. So you need to provide this OpenAI key, endpoint, API version, deployment name. Again, let's do one thing. Time is less. I will simply do one thing. Okay, let me provide you. Let me still show you. So you go to this Azure portal. Okay, I showed you, right? To go to this, you create a subscription in this, you deploy a model and all those things, right? You come here, go to the project, you go to model endpoints. Again, it is not necessary. You can use any LLM here. I'm just showing you through how you use Azure models. Okay. So you get thing called a key from here. So what you can do, simply copy it. You go to your project folder, create .env. So first variable is Azure OpenAI key. Okay. So I'll put it here. Azure OpenAI key is equal to, I will copy from this particular state from here. I'll simply copy and I will paste here. This is my Azure OpenAI key. What all other parameters are there in the agent? OpenAI endpoint. Okay. So let's just put them here. OpenAI endpoint. And then what do I have? Version. So version. And then I have deployment name. I just want to tell you before moving on, I will need at least 30 minutes. Are you guys good or you want a break? We can do the remaining part in maybe next week. I don't want, like, I need 30 minutes more. If you guys want some break, we can go for a small break. Otherwise, let's continue and finish this. Okay.
Hi, I have one question. Why we need agents if the SQL trigger tells what to change? Then just simply run the SQL query according to the trigger. So it's like, why why do we still need agent if the SQL trigger tells what to change and it just simply runs the SQL query according to the trigger?
But it will not, suppose it will not automatically trigger the other thing, right? SQL query will run from one end. So what I'm saying, some change will happen in your one system here. How will this system get to know that something happened here and make those changes here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, understood.
So I'm not touching any scripting, anything that you need to understand why agents are used. You are not changing data pipelines or something. You are simply handling them better through agents. That if something happens, you automatically trigger somewhere else. Okay.
Okay.
SQL scripts will still run, but now agent will decide when to run them. That is the point.
Okay.
Okay. So let's come to a OpenAI endpoint, right? Endpoint will be, where is it? So this is Azure OpenAI endpoint. It will be present from here. You can get it. Okay. Then you have to give an OpenAPI version, which also you will get from here. API version, let's call it this one. And then it's a deployment name. So deployment name is, deployment name is GPT-4o. Okay. So this I use directly from Azure. I'm using. So now let's come to the HR agent. Yeah. So I got all these variables from the Azure portal. I'm creating this agent. I'm reading from this MCP server, getting the tools and passing these tools to a create React agent, LLM tools, and you're an HR system that detects. So what will this agent do? It will read the tool descriptions, call the tool automatically when you have to run it. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Any confusion? Now let's test it out. Okay. So I'll run this script, Python 3 agent. Sorry, HR_agent.py. Okay. So if you see, what did it do? It loaded two MCP tools, detect changes and create sync payload. Yes or no? So if you want to check, it read from the server. If you see, it sent some connection request, post request to the server, which MCP server where it is running, and it got details from there. Now I will tell it a question. For example, I have made some changes in the okay, or you can simply, I can mention create payload as well, something like that also you can generate. Okay, so this agent will there seems to be a recurring issue with creating a sync payload to technical error. Okay, let me check detect changes. First of all, let's detect changes. The error message indicates an issue with directory string. Yeah, something issue with the MCP server. Let me go there. String object has no attribute mkdir. So let me do one thing. There was an mkdir here. Let me comment it. This will also comment it. SQL mkdir. Okay, that is fine. Let's do one thing. Let's run the server once again. with the changes. It's not some code problem, it's some location problem, because I created this code on my company laptop and their file location were different. I pushed it and now I'm using on my personal laptop. So it's causing, but it's not a big deal. So I'll say Python 3 HR underscore MCP server. Okay. Sorry. Python 3 HR underscore MCP server. So MCP server is live now. Now I will run the agent. Python 3 HR underscore agent. Okay. So let's call it check changes. There are 6 unprocessed employee changes detected. These changes include new employee entries, right? It detected. So I will say create payload. Okay. So what it will do, the sync payload has been created successfully. If you see here, all the 6 changes have been configured properly. Now let's recheck our agent. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the script and I'm going to add a new row. Let's check with a new fresh customer. Okay. I come here, I add a new employee. So let's come here, I add employee 07. Let's say I add something. Tony Stark. Okay. Tony Stark and Tony Stark. Okay, something like this. And now I will go to CD scripts and let me run this Python 3 add underscore data dot py. Okay. So what will this do? What will the script do?
Add data, add new data.
It will just, this is just happening on the back end, right? Some HR person updated the data. So what did I see? Okay, some data has been, Tony Stark has been added to the system. Now what I need to do, I will go there, run my agent. Okay, Python 3 HR. Again, all this will happen automatically. I'm showing you individual agent running one by one. Okay, agent.py, and I will say, let's say check changes. Okay. Yeah. There are no remaining. Okay, let me check. Why is it showing that? There are no unprocessed. Maybe I didn't save the file or something. Wait a second. It should detect. Let's go to this MCP server. Sorry, inspector. Sync payload is this. See, it got added actually. They did it automatically. Yeah. So it worked. So basically, this agent is somehow working, right? I'm able to trigger it. Clear? Any doubt, anyone? I added Tony Stark, right? So if you see, it came here. Any question in the HR agent? Anyone?
So right now, so like we are calling tools individually, but in the real-time case, it should
Real
work
time it will happen.
independently, right?
Orchestrator will automatically manage. I'm right now
So
just
it's
telling.
a hierarchical agent work, agent goes for, right?
It's not hierarchical. It's it will be in random order. Right now, I'm just showing you working of each agent.
Okay.
We will orchestrate that. I will not send message to HR agent at all. I'll send message to an orchestrator only. You'll see that once it works. For now, HR agent will take any input. So if you see, it will check for any system changes and do the changes and tell me. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, so let's come to README. HR agent is done. Okay. Now quickly I will do the payroll agent as well. Okay. You guys now understand the structure. Same structure I'm going to use for payroll agent. So not like taking much time there. So in Payroll Agent, I'm not taking any MCP server. I'm just creating as I told you, I'm just simply creating a tool and passing information to that. So I'll say payroll underscore agent dot py. I'll paste the code here. So if you see how this is working, that it will take all this information, same as your calling happening. Okay, a tool I have created. This is how a tool is created in the agent. Process sync payload. It will simply read the payload and update information in a SQL table, which I showed you. Okay, that's how it is going to work, and it will show you that okay, these changes I have applied. So very simple. Same agent, LLM tools, agent, create React agent, name payroll agent, and all those things, and it is created. So very simple. Just agent creation is just one line step. The rest all is like setting up base code and all those things. Okay, now let's try to run this. So if I try to see right now in my payroll DB data, I don't have things, correct? I only have 3 payroll employees. So let's try to run this payroll agent. Wait a second. What is the issue? Deployment not one. API deployment for this resource created. Last 5 minutes. Please wait a moment. The task name, agent, and ID. Okay, that deployment not found. Is it giving an error because of my model? Deployment name. Let's check here. Okay, let's me deploy a new model. Maybe I think it will work. Deploy base model. So I'll deploy a GPT 4.1. Okay, I'll confirm. EastUS2, everything is done. Deploy. So, metrics. Okay, target URI is this. Let me go here to .env endpoint. Okay, this is the API version is this 2025 preview, and deployment name is GPT 4.1, and openai.com. So that is there. These things happen, so not a big deal. I'll control save it. OpenAI key, Azure OpenAI key, open endpoint deployment. Am I missing anything? I'm just checking. Payroll agent. Azure OpenAI API version. Okay, I think that variable is missing. Let me get it. OpenAI endpoint key, Open API version. This is missing, I think. Yeah. OpenAI version, and the version is (2025) API preview. Okay, Let's put it here. Let's try to run this ℘ payroll agent now. Should work. I think I just created it. That's why it might
Do
be.
we need to remove it from here, like GPT-4?
Sorry?
Do we need to remove GPT-4?
Oh, no, actually, this is an additional thing, right? I mean, if it does not read, it goes fallbacks to that.
Oh, fallback.
Yeah, it's a fallback model. Azure OpenAI endpoint. Azure OpenAI endpoint. Just give me a second. Give me just 1 minute. Okay. You guys, maybe Azure OpenAI endpoint is this GPT 4.1 2025 preview. The thing is, let me just close it. Yeah, then it might work. Okay, let's go to Payroll Agent. Resource not found. So maybe it's not able to find my LLM. I don't know what's going wrong. So let me quickly do one thing. What you guys can do, you guys can take a 10-minute break. Let me change the LLM right now. You guys can come after 10 minutes and I'll quickly walk through the remaining of the code. Okay. Thanks. Just give me 10 minutes. Okay. You guys can have a break for 10. So right now it's 12:52. So your how much in India time? What is it?
122.
122.
So let's connect at 1:35. Okay. 1:35. I'll just need
Hi. Before the break, can I take a look at the table again, like the agent table again?
Let me update the code first. Otherwise, I have to show everyone, right? It will take time. Give me a few minutes. Then import that. Chat OpenAI. Okay. Chat OpenAI. I will use OpenAI API key. Payroll agent. OpenAI API key. Or this I don't need. This all I don't need. Just need. Chat OpenAI, and it will go here. Model equal to GPT 4.0. That's how it is. OpenAI API key. That is fine. That is fine. That is fine. Let me test it. Yeah. See, it did. It added to it, right? Those who are there, you can see, right? It worked. Okay. Now let me add this to the other agent as well. That was HR agent. So I'll quickly go here. Let's payroll agent. This is going to get you return that OpenAI and what is LLM? LLM is equal to, sorry, API key is equal to this. Okay, let me just check everything once. Python 3 HR MCP server.py. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some additions in the script. Let's add a new employee 009. Okay. CD scripts, Python 3, add underscore data.py. So this trigger got executed. Now let me test the agent 1. So I will say cd add Python 3 hr_agent.py. Chat. Oh, sorry, I didn't put that thing at the top. This language in OpenAI. Okay. So, okay, let's ask it to detect the changes. Changes were already processed by trigger or what? I think agent is not responding properly. But yeah, data is getting added. Agent's response, I think maybe prompting needs to be updated. That I will do. And let's go check this particular agent as well. Right. So right now the data is not in my payroll system. This new employee Bob Macer is not there, right? So what I will do, I'll say Python 3 payroll_agent.py. Okay, so it will run one change detection from HR system and update it. So let's run this. Bob Macer came here. Okay, so both agents are individually, they are performing good. Now I need to create an orchestrator. Any question, anyone? I have like I just need 5-10 minutes more, just one more script. So this part is done. Payroll agent, right? Now we just need to, I need to show you orchestrator agent.
So, so what are the issues? Version of the GPT?
Sorry.
So what was the issue?
The issue was I think my Azure subscription. This is my personal account, right? I don't use Azure much on my personal account, so I think I didn't add money or credit card in the backend, so it's not reading from there. It was just that. So I changed to OpenAI. I have money in my OpenAI account, so it read from there. So that's right. What the issue was not in code. Issue was in this deployments. These things, guys, are very, very common to happen. Like I tell you, like debugging is the main thing that you need to learn. Code nowadays you can get it from anywhere. Main thing is to learn from where it is working, how it is working, right, and all those things. So that is just last 5-10 minutes of the session, right? This I just want to explain you how this code works. Then you are good to go. Okay. So I will add a new script. Meanwhile, okay. So orchestrator.py. Okay. So very simple thing, how orchestrator works. That is important to understand, but let me check its LLM first. I don't want to use this. Let me update it first of all. OpenAI API key. I don't need all this. Parallel tool calls are okay. Anyways, let's go to this payroll agent. Yeah. That one is only for Azure only, I think. Chat open AI is not defined. Why is it asking create? It should not ask me that. A second. Detect HR changes. Process. HR agent. Run agent auto. Let me check which one is it calling. Should call run agent auto. Agent auto. Run agent auto. Where is it? Run agent. Let me check this once again. Python 3 orchestrator.py sync employees. Yeah. Okay, guys. So can we start now? Okay. So now just the last part, creating the orchestrator agent. Okay. I just want to show you the architecture of that code. How does it look like? Okay. So the architecture of the code looks like very simple. We use a thing called as LangGraph supervisor. Again, this is an abstract class. Eventually, you will need to learn how to create basically those custom classes. But let me show you this where there is multi-agent thing. Okay, here if you come, this is how a supervisor agent is created. Supervisor agent, multiple agents. How does it orchestrate? Is that first of all, if you see, you create individual agents like we have done. We have created. So this is a flight assistant agent. You created that, and you created a hotel assistant agent. Okay. So similarly, we created an HR agent and a payroll agent. These two agents we created. Now, the last part of the code is you mention like supervisor, and you use this supervisor class, create supervisor. And then you provide the list of agents that are present inside it. So it has present a flight assistant and a hotel assistant, right? So you provide these two agents, you tell the model name, and you give it a prompt that you do this. That's it. This is the most easiest way to create a multi-agent. There are advanced and better methods as well, but right now I'm just telling you this. You just pass these two agents here, call the model prompt, and you just compile it and you run it. Same thing I'm doing in my code on as well. If you come see the orchestrator, what have I done? First of all, I created these two functions where I'm calling from my run my payroll agent and running my HR agent. Okay. Now, so this is my HR agent. Like this is the agent model equal to this, tools, this, prompt, this, and name equal to HR agent. Similarly, for payroll agent, I created these two agents. And then I create a supervisor. I mention this is a supervisor. Agents, I provide these two agents, tell the model. Okay. And then I give a prompt. You are the employee sync orchestrator. You manage this. For sync employee, do this. For check changes, do this process. Like those kind of things it do. Okay. And then you run it. So what this orchestrator is good. Remember, I showed you whatever in the diagram that how this is going to work. That it is going to read, assign task to one agent, take input, assign to other, take input, and that's how it is going to work. So that's it. And now you will run it. So I'm just going to show you one final implementation that let's simply update this. Now I don't need to run my individual agents. I simply need to run my orchestrator agent only. So what I will do, I'll go to my this file cd scripts. Okay, I'll add some data to it. So what I will do, let me add a new employee. Let's add employee 101 and call him anything, Batman, for example. Okay, let's call him Batman Singh. Okay, so this is Batman and blah blah blah. Okay, so let me run the script. Python 3 add underscore data dot py. So this Batman got added to my data here. HR system, if I refresh it, employees, Batman got added. Is the Batman present in my payroll system? No. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run my orchestrator agent. cd Python 3 orchestrator.py. Okay. So there are multiple ways to create orchestrator. Now, either sync employees, check changes, process payroll. I will say I want to sync employees, let's say, to orchestrator. Now this orchestrator, now see whatever is going to happen. Automatically call each of the agents, get the work done, and task done. You don't need to like individually call anything or individually run any data pipeline. Okay, so it will do something, start the HR MCP server, it will load, detect some change. Okay, and it did something, process payroll, and all this thing done. Okay, everything is done. If you see here, this all JSON is created. You don't need to see that right now. So changes applied, added employee this to the payroll system. So if I come to the payroll system and now if I refresh it, this Batman would have been added here. Okay, so everything this orchestrator agent controlled. I created multiple agents and I controlled them through orchestrator. As I told you, I don't need to go and run individual agents. This orchestrator will control everything. So that's all. Sorry for taking so long. It's been like around more than 3 hours, but I didn't want to stop because there was too lot to cover. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask me. I'm done from my end. Just one request, you will get a link to provide feedback. Please do that. It helps us a lot. Even if just write down one thing only, good, bad, whatever, just let us know. And we'll do an Azure workshop next weekend. I'll send link to that as well. But we'll do a full implementation of this as well, like enterprise level and all those things. Today, because of time, I'm not able to do it. Okay, but main idea is to understand how things are working. Now, I don't know how your level of coding is, but even if you're not a coder, you should have been able to understand how things work, right? That what thing to control, what not to control. That was my only objective. For coding, it takes time. You can read. I'll share the GitHub link. You can read that. But this is how it is working. You can enhance more features to it, but we'll do that later. So this is how it was done. This particular architecture, which I showed you, we just created that. Okay.
Architecture.
So, yeah, please. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, you can drop off. Thanks a lot for staying in the session.
Hi, 𝗵𝗵. This
yeah.
is Richard. I have one question. It's awesome. I love your this presentation, and then okay, I love the process that you go through. It's very clear. Okay, one question here. I will ask. Let's say, for instance, I mean, for those who don't have a coding background, can this process to be implemented using N8N, which is I think last time you go through.
Yes, it can be done through N8N. It can be done through. All this can be done through N8N. The only problem with N8N is that inside companies, they don't allow that, right? So maybe if you have your own business, your own startup, your own personal project, you can do that. But inside companies, it takes a lot to get those things, get approval for N8N or other things, I would say.
Okay, then my next question is, I want to implement NNN in production, let's say in enterprise level. What is your advice? Is it to have something like, because I know NNN most are using the cloud they host it in the
Yeah, the problem is that
IO.
NNN
Yeah.
hosts in their own cloud. You don't get to deploy an Azure cloud and all those things, right? You
Yes.
create a
So if
workflow.
let's say I have,
yeah.
If let's say I have my enterprise cloud, let's say example, my enterprise company, let's say my company, they want to make it this thing private, so can I just like concept that say I make it as my individual server. I install NNN myself in the individual server, then which is private, then then we post it in the cloud. But the cloud will belongs to, let's say, my company's privacy cloud. So in this case, would you think workable, or anything that
I need to see. I haven't deployed anything. I haven't deployed anything NNN in production, but I have read articles. People say that privacy issue, data issues comes in, right? Now, totally depends on the type of company. If you're working for a company, your company allows all this, right? You can do that. My company has hundreds of security issues. I can't even deploy a single GPT model without multiple permissions, right? So to get something like that NNN deployed in my company, it's very difficult. But a lot of startups use that, right? A lot of startups. Yeah.
It's even for startup and those SME, but it's not go for those corporate enterprise. Can I say that?
Yeah. Like forget big
got it.
enterprise level, normal shop, startups, right? Or your own small businesses. It's very good. NNN is very good.
Okay, got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So what I showed you today was a custom logic. It's a very basic project. In the sense, creating agents very basic way. We can enhance all those things, but all that cannot be covered in one session, right? Again, I'm not pitching you for any course, but if you guys want, you can check that as well. Otherwise, whatever online courses you check, see if they are covering all these major things. Like, and this project is inside from my company. I didn't check from anywhere. I'm working on something like this inside my company. So I thought of bringing a small version of that here. So that is there. Yeah, please, anyone, any other question, feel free to ask.
Yes, Advik. So I have a question that we are using LangGraph in both all the agents we are using. So what are the state spaces like?
What are
the state spaces in each of the agents?
I didn't get your question.
So there are the concepts of state and edges, and you have talked about this.
Yeah, state edges come. That comes. So that already is being handled in LangGraph automatically agent right now. So you don't have control right now. You can do that. So how does that work? Let me show you. If you go to LangGraph, the basic add tools. So this is how that agent is working right now. You get a user question, okay, and you have a node called as tools, okay, where you provide all the tools. So this keep on doing a loop here and there, here and there, and then it ends. What you see is an abstract class of this. That all that workflow that if you remember in the LangGraph workshop, I showed how to create add node, edge, and all those things, right? That is created and abstracted. So that's what you don't see here.
Okay, so this is an abstract class, and all the agents are using this thing.
It's an abstract class, right? Custom class can be created, which I didn't have time to show all that today. So right now I just created a basic. So if you have to create a very basic agent with 2 tools, this is a good way. But if you want more control, you can go through workflow methods.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone? Any other question? Yeah.
I have another question. This is Richard. I have one more question. I think I want to ask, let's say, for instance, like, let's say those who are, again, don't have coding background, or maybe say is not so good in coding. Can I, let's say, can I use, let's say, those, the diagram, I use your diagram just now, that how the process flow go, that you table 1, table 2, payroll. Yeah, correct. I use this table, then I just put some explanations. Then I use this thing, I put it using cursor, web coding concept. Do you think it will work? I mean, you will churn up this thing? You will write the code for me. Yeah.
Problem
to
with
get the
cursor
prototype.
is that is that it will work, but it will not be able to give. It will give error a lot of times. Okay.
Oh.
So without coding knowledge, you will not be able to debug those things. That is the problem. Cursor will create for something for you. I'm saying, I'm sure it will create something for you. But without coding knowledge, you will not have the ability to know whether that code is good or not.
Yes, yes, agree. Yes.
That is the
That means
problem.
if I say I know some basic coding, but I'm not so good in, let's say, the
So let's say if you know some basic coding, you can understand what is happening, then cursor is good. You create code, try to understand what it is doing, and if you think, no man, it does not make sense, give it a prompt that, okay, this is what you think, I think you did wrong, do it this way. Then it will do for you. Okay. So blindly depending on cursor is not good, but if you know good coding, then cursor will become a master tool for you. Like I use a lot cursor, to be honest, right? So in my company, I use GitHub Copilot a lot, but problem is that it creates a lot of issue. So if you completely depend, so I have tried this. Once I thought, okay, I will not think even for 1 minute. I will just simply accept what cursor or GitHub Copilot is giving me. I thought, let's create a project by this method. I'll tell you, it totally blown my mind. Blown in the sense I was totally messed up, right? Because you don't know what kinds of error it creates, and you just don't know what is happening. It's like a magic box for you. I don't want to get into that magic thing, right? So
okay, got it.
I want to have some control. That's what I just want to say.
That means it's the controller. I think the control level security. Yeah. Okay, agree with you.
Right?
Okay.
Yes, use cursor. I'm not denying that. Use them. Those AI tools are built for improving your productivity, but don't blindly depend on it. Okay,
so that means cursor is just like is a fast to get the prototype out. Then from there we debug from there to extend it out into a bigger.
Cursor will give you this script that how tool calling should be done. Cursor will not give you this architecture. This architecture you have to feed to them. Store this memory in a SQL data, something like that, right? So those controllability you need to bring. Cursor will give you good boilerplate codes. That's what it does.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. Anyone, any other question? Still, there are 25 people. I really thank you guys a lot. Like, you stayed for over 4 hours. That means a lot. I hope you guys learned something. Your Sunday was somehow useful. Please provide a feedback, right? Either on WhatsApp group or on that link that you will get. Okay. I'll share the GitHub repo and everything with you so that you can try on your own as well later on. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, 𝗵𝗵, for your great sharing and really awesome. We love it really. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. TOML file is just basically how you store your Python dependencies. It's a Python-based thing. You can use anything, 𝗂𝗃, anything you can use. That does not matter. But when you use 𝗂𝗃, you cannot use LangGraph orchestrator. There you will need A2A. What can be the fees for the recording for 𝗟𝗃? You can DM me. I will tell you that. Okay. Any other question?
Just one thing. So if MCP was built by Anthropic, so if we are using Claude desktop, so would that help us learn MCP better in a better way? Something like that.
That is nothing. MCP, although it was built by Claude, but anyone can use it. So it's not that if you use through Claude, then it's better. Nothing like that.
Okay. Thank you. It was a great session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. If you don't have any question, please enjoy your Sunday. I don't want to take further more. I have 2 classes tomorrow, like in morning as well. So thanks again. If you have any question, please ask me. And next week, I'm conducting a session on Azure, right? This Azure portal, which I showed, will create a prompt flow. I'll try to keep it short, not 3 hours. We'll keep it max 2 hours. Okay.
I have a request that you are saying that you are wanting to keep the enterprise workshop, which is a paid one, on 23rd.
It will not be one session. Okay,
it won't be one session. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
See, any session will not be more than 2 hours. Today, I don't know how I planned for 2 hours, but it just stretched. So I will start breaking it over 2-3 workshops, so that I think a human cannot be attentive more than 2 hours, right? So
yeah, it decreases the attention.
I totally agree. That's why I didn't like code everything. If I would have coded, you would have like killed me, right? So I just told you that this is how this code is working and this is how flow is. You have the code, you read that later. Okay, that how every code is working.
Yeah, so my request was that don't keep it on 23rd. If possible, do it from 24th onwards. Like I'll be traveling.
Okay, that's fine. That's no problem. Yeah. I haven't like posted anything yet. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, what is that 24th, the paid version?
It will be an advanced version of this workshop. Today I just created 2 SQL tables, right? In that we will sync SQL, NoSQL, something on cloud deployment, those kind of things we'll do. So it will not be one session. I'll split that into multiple things, and then so you can.
Will we get the email, or how do we get notified?
So it will be a paid workshop. I will share the links. Once you register for it, you'll get an email, you'll get joining link and all that. I'll break that workshop into 3 to 4 sessions, kind of mini course, right? 2 hours of multiple 2-3 sessions, right? Like in one session, I'll walk you through the basic code, one through cloud part, one through deployment part, one through something else. So
yeah, maybe if you start the India time at 8 o'clock, it would be great. Like
I will try. Problem
Yeah,
is I have 2 other courses going on, right? In morning,
okay.
I take that, and I get really tired, and I need to prepare as well, right? So I will try to keep it in morning. Definitely, I'll try to.
So how do you know about the courses that you are running on?
I have 2 courses going on. One is a Python course. Okay, that is in that we have just started file processing. We are moving towards advanced Python like API, web scraping, and all those things. And another course on 𝗍𝗂𝗃 is going, where we have just started LangGraph. 2-3 classes have been done, and we are just started agentic AI there. So both courses are 3 months. Like it's been around 3 months to them, but a lot of things are left in each of them. So, but you will get recordings as well for those sessions.
Yeah, for the can I check it online, or do I need to send an email? The one I got it, should I reply back, or how? What is the process?
You have, so I'm putting my WhatsApp number here. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
You can send me a WhatsApp on this. I might not be able to reply right now because I'll just leave after this. It's my 1:30 a.m. I will reply in my morning. Okay. But you can just drop a text. Okay.
Yeah, for before 30 morning. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone, any other question? Please let me know. Okay, guys. Thanks again. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Okay. See you in next workshop. And please provide a feedback once you get it. Okay. Thank you.